now we're recording, and now I have my notes open. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and the host for tonight's events, Along the Frontier, an Alien RPG campaign, Episode 3, Into the Jungle. I am the Game Mother, or the GM, or whatever else you'd like to call me. With me, of course, are my players, Rodance, Luke, and Kane. So let's check in with them for a second or two and see what's new and exciting for them. Meanwhile, I'll just be over here totally not training my new horde of facehuggers. Rodance, what's new and exciting for you, my friend?
Well, I think this might be the first day when I actually got done a half hour before the end of my workday with my work. It's new and exciting.
So awesome when you can actually finish your work before the allotted time, isn't it?
I have salary, so it just means I get to walk off a half hour early.
Salary's even better in that regard. It's
better than working almost 2 hours past like I did yesterday because something wasn't working right. So
yeah, that
trade-off.
that is definitely the drawback. I also work a arguably salary pay where I get paid per day. It doesn't matter how many hours I put in, but in my case, I definitely get right about 8 hours unless I show up late and finish fast. So there's definitely good days and there's definitely bad days with that.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got?
Let's see.
And if you have nothing else, that's fine too. I just wanted to make sure before.
Oh yeah, yes. My house is actually warm now.
I feel like that is a bigger announcement than the previous one, but I digress.
Yeah, the joys of having to hunt. The first time I said gas pack to several people, they just looked at me and they're like, "What?" I'm like, the furnace combined with the AC unit in one thing. It's literally a natural gas furnace plus an AC unit in one metal box.
Okay.
Attached to the house.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, those things took a week of tuning, but it works now.
But the important part is, despite all the stress and tribulations and whatnot, it works, and it appears to be doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, what you got for us? What's new and exciting in your part of the world?
Well, I'm turning off my Irish card. I'm drinking bubbly now.
I'm not sure how the two are intertwined, but also I don't know what bubbly is, and that might be the problem.
Carbonated
Bubbly
water.
is, yeah, sparkling water.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I work like a hybrid salary, I guess.
Okay.
Basically meaning that I have to put in the 8 hours, and if I don't make the 8 hours, I have to put it in.
Okay. I think I get where you're going with that.
Yeah, but it's a salary position, so I'm not really sure.
That's called misclassification of work.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I'm not sure how that works in Canada, but I feel like that's really questionable here.
Laws.
Yeah, I feel like that would be questionable business practices here, but also didn't want to throw it out there quite as such.
Yeah,
Canada may be a little weird
I mean,
like
even
that.
if I don't make the hours, I get paid the full amount. So I just have to put it in the time later, kind of deal.
You gotta make so basically you have to work. You effectively you have to get 8 hours no matter what. It just may not necessarily be 8 hours on the same day.
Yeah, it could be
Or
like
40
7
hours in a
hours one
week.
day, 9 hours the other day.
Okay. I guess that kind of makes
even
sense.
if I don't make the hours over for the pay period, I still get my full salary. They just frown at me.
They frown at you. Strongly worded letters with a few
Yes.
apologies because Canada.
Yeah. Sorry, but
Sorry, but you're kind of being a butt.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, not too much. I got the new mic. Started doing the stream thing again.
Oh, I meant to follow you too. Do me a favor, message me if you haven't already. I think you have, but if you would, message me again what your. Actually, you could throw it out here too, but I need to see the letters because the way my brain works.
Okay.
But yeah, where can people find you if they want to find you on the Twitches?
Through Luke Labs with the underscore.
Oh, well, that was easy. You don't even have to text that to me. I should remember that.
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. Also, I hear myself, so I'm trying to do the speaking
while hearing yourself. No, no, that's
Yep.
frustrating.
So I
It
speak with
sounds like. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. So I stream with Larus, which is my girlfriend,
Okay.
I guess. So we've been playing storyline games and other games, Pal World, other things like that.
Yeah. Is that
You you guess she's your girlfriend? Are you not sure?
I was about
Um,
to say that too.
Well,
I have to
it's
remind you
getting a
before
little
you
bit more
answer that
serious.
question. This is being recorded and broadcast live at the same time, so please be careful, my friend.
So I say I guess because it's getting a little bit more serious.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair. Um, yeah, with your sounds, it definitely sounds like it's in the settings area that can get really tricky depending on how complicated your setup is, and not necessarily your setup, but just however your equipment works with other pieces of the equipment. Of course, you've already helped me out a few times with sound issues, so I feel like you're going to be able to troubleshoot the shit out of this and figure it out.
Yeah, the monitor sucks, which is not actually there.
Hmm.
So I don't understand.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh, I was also going to ask: is you said her name was Larousse?
Yeah.
Is that I don't remember the name now. I remember when we started GTL, or rather when you started in the GTL, there
Yep.
was a follower, for lack of a better thing to call her, because I didn't know any better, whose name I cannot for the life of me remember. Was that
Kale in it.
that's it? Was that her, or is that the same
No.
person, or is that another
No,
friend?
she was
Or
a friend.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah, Kale in it was we still talk actually,
well, that's
but
good.
she's moved on with like a boyfriend and stuff, so it's like okay, whatever.
Yeah,
And
you
she
don't.
lives like 5 towns away from me.
Yeah, that
Actually,
is. I know when we switched from live streaming GTL to the format that we're in now, that is one thing I noticed is we don't get as many of the live views, for lack of a better thing to call it. And I remember she was there frequently for that particular season, so you miss out on some of those things. But we changed the format to be a little bit more accommodating for various people's schedules. So, Kane,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me finish with Luke first, just to make sure. Go ahead,
Oh, that
Luke.
was pretty much it.
Okay, all right. Apologies. My
I'm
brain
gonna go
tends to
try to
run
figure out
ahead.
my monitor thing now.
Okay. Kane, what's new and exciting for you, my friend?
Well, everyone's talking about their salary or not quite salary or hourly or whatever. I'm just to round
hashtag
out something just to
hashtag
round
student
out
life.
something different. I'm on a pension, so so there you go. There's a different option.
Yep, there you go. There is. I have one of those pension thingies too, but it is not nearly enough to make ends meet. But it is nice to get that check every month.
It is.
Definitely helps
I
out.
mean, it's a consolation prize, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to argue with getting it.
It is definitely one way to phrase it. Especially, I know you're. Well, I don't want to throw your shit out there too far, but I know, like in your case, how you got yours is considerably different than how I got mine. So mine is because I served for 20 or more years. Yours is more things didn't quite go very well in the physical side of things for you.
Yeah, mine was I would like to do 20 years, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Here you go home.
Yeah. Exactly. You got anything else?
Uh, no,
Okay.
no, not really.
All right. Well, that was a great intro, and we did that in 9 minutes. I was gonna say something about my cat, but uh, the long and short of it is, well, Kane, you were there for when it actually happened on stream the other day. My I guess this is like the new, or not new, but like the big thing that happened for me in the last few days is that my cat had a freaking seizure. Before I got the cat, I knew about the seizures. He had had some roughly a year ago before I got him. And then when I got him in June, I think. And then probably a month or two later, he had one seizure that I was a party to, and that was a weird experience for me. Like I knew about the seizures, but like to actually go through that situation was new and not exciting at all. But then the other night, my son was chilling in his room. The cat was chilling in the room with him, next to him on his bed, and all of a sudden he just goes into a seizure. And my son, who knows of it, doesn't know what to expect or do or anything like that. And all of a sudden he's freaking out, quite understandably. But that was a bit rough there for a little bit. But for all people involved and the cat, we are all good. It happens, unfortunately, sometimes with animals that they also suffer some of the same maladies that we as humans have. So, on that
I
note,
learned a thing.
yeah,
Oh, sweet. My monitor is actually no longer there, so I can talk normally now.
yeah, you definitely sound a lot different than you did a minute ago. I mean, it's still good and clear and everything. Don't get me wrong; it almost sounds like podcast radio material.
Podcast.
There you go. I was just gonna say, drop the bass a little bit. You got the radio voice going. This is Luke Labs with. Oh wait, you got wait. You gotta do it. You gotta say, "This is CNN."
This is CNN.
Sorry, I am memeing hard right now.
EA. It's in the game.
There you go. All right. Anything else before we get started? Because we need to get started. Because I got some stuff for you. Everybody ready?
Why do I feel like we might need to break out extra characters today?
You know, the one thing I will point out is the Alien RPG system does allow for relatively quick and easy character creation. On the fly, as it were. I wonder if that was intentional. It probably was. At any rate, we open on a scene over a moon, the label Ariarchus showing in the bottom left of the screen, and we see the Tambatam floating by. A moment passes with the camera lingering in the shot, and then just as the sun disappears behind the moon, a new star appears with a rising sphere of a brilliant white-hot ball of plasma expanding over the surface of the moon. We see another shot, this one of a large number of people standing in blocky formations in the hangar deck of a ship, a group of tall men all clad in black armor and uniforms near a smaller dropship, and a short woman, dark-skinned, hair pulled back into a tight bun, approaching the people in formation. There's a brief monologue from her, but it's muted, and then she leaves. And for a second, we catch when she turns her head back over her shoulder to address the people one last time before leaving, and we actually hear her, "Give 'em hell, gunfighters." And from here, the screen fades out, and then fades in on the ship as it leaves orbit of the world of Tithonus and heads back out into the void. Before I go into my first planned moment, we do have a roll or two to do. So let me see if I have everything set correctly, because I'm sure it's not. Let's see if I can get... Oh, wait. Oh my god. Now, it doesn't have the right window. You know what? For right now, it doesn't matter. We have at least one wits roll that needs to be made. I feel like there was somebody else that needed to roll for talents too, but I could be wrong. I know Rodance said that she had the one to do.
I think the other person who wanted a talent wanted one that someone else also has.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
I wanted a talent that somebody else already had, and we talked about how we picked that up during the previous scene.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll roll my wits roll now.
Okay.
Clicky.
I believe Kane wanted Watchful.
Watchful.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That sounds right. All right. And what was the talent you
There
were
you go.
going for? I don't remember off the top of my head.
The one that lets me use wits instead of strength with stamina.
Oh, literally.
Stoic.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then we probably need to actually give that to you, or has that already been done? I feel like I need to give that to you, so give me a second here. Let me double check. Skills. You do not have it, so I need to actually give that to you. That's under... Where's items? Talents. Is Stoic?
Should be a general talent.
Okay. Sounds like it is. There it is right there. Drop. And then we needed to give Pike Watchful, or did you?
I have Watchful.
Okay, you already did that. All right, sweet. In that case, we can go ahead and. Oh wait, did Luke go for a talent, or did Luke get a talent, or not Luke, but either of his characters?
I think the only one that would have been sort of valid would have been Leland Winston, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 experience.
So yeah, talent is just 5 experience points.
Okay.
Anything, whether it's a
I'll,
talent or a skill, whatever
Yeah.
you want to buy, it's 5 XP.
Oh, also,
flat.
if you picked up a talent or did anything else, make sure you adjust your experience points correctly.
Yeah.
Um,
So these are in the core rulebook, right?
There's talents in the core rulebook, and there are talents in the CMOM as well. If you don't know which one you want to grab right now, you basically have until the shooting starts.
Yep. I'll have it done.
And I'll probably have to, either I or Kane on his on tech support will have to give you that talent onto your character sheet. With that in mind, let's get into who's messaging me on Discord and what.
See,
Oh,
I'm
Rev.
I'm happy now. My stamina roll now gets 6 dice instead of 3, just by switching it from strength to wits.
That's going to make a bit of a difference. It's going to make a bit of a difference in staying the fuck alive.
Yeah, I have a distinct feeling I'm going to need to do a lot of hauling my butt around and doing things, and I figure that's probably the best thing to go for with her first purchase with XP.
Not a bad call to make. All right, so as you recall, and as you may have picked up on a few brief notes in the intro, or excuse me, in the recap montage, you guys were over the planet Tithonus. There's a big marine base. Not just Marines, but like all of the UA armed forces have some sort of contingent there on the ground at Mount Tithonus in the Mu Hercules system. You guys had spent a couple of days there while, for all intents and purposes, what you're able to piece together, all the seniors and all the bigwigs have been trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do after the nuclear destruction of Fort Nebraska. You learned about the UPP is, what it sounds like is the UPP is most likely the main culprit for this, but also a group calling itself the Border Bombers may or may not have been involved, may or may not have been responsible, and they may or may not have been supported in some fashion or to some degree by the UPP. You were also visited by General Vaughn, who effectively said, go be excellent Marines. Go forth and bring me information, bring me evidence, bring me proof that the UPP is involved so we can go bomb the shit out of them and knock them straight back to the Stone Age. She didn't use those exact words, but that was the message that was implied. And then after that, you basically, up at this point now, you have a few hours left before you are to head into the cryopods because you are indeed leaving Tithonus or Mu Hercules. I'm probably saying that wrong, so some sci-fi guy is going to correct me on that, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. But anyway, you are leaving the system you are currently in. You are traveling across space, going to a new location, and the rumor mill has mentioned very briefly, specifically from Staff Sergeant Zamborski to Sergeant Pike, 2 possible missions were presented as your next possible moves, which was a place called O'Bannon's World and something about some communication, like a deep space communication station. But nothing official has been brought down or come out. You have been ordered that, you know, in order to preserve your brains and not lose your minds, you have to go into hypersleep. I'm sorry, cryosleep for the FTL portion of your next journey. Anything you guys want to do as players, characters in this scene before you hop into the sack, the freeze sack? That still sounds bad. But
All right.
please.
I'm gonna practice flopping myself onto the ground really hard.
So we've got a drill for this.
Yeah.
React to contact.
I'm up, they see me. I'm down, they don't.
Yeah.
And then you get back up. I'm up, they see me. I'm down, they don't.
Yep. Every now and again, you gotta throw words in there like "moving on safe, battle buddy."
Oh yeah.
Ready up.
So for Hug the Dirt, I need to do a wits roll.
Correct.
Yep.
And let me, before you make that wits roll, let me flip the screen back over so people can see your roll.
Shiny dice.
Roll stress dice is no, right?
Correct.
You should have no stress, by the way. Okay, I'm going to
That
give
is a
you.
no.
All right, I will give you another roll to indicate the final day before FTL transit. So go ahead and make a second roll. I tried to give it
Not
to you,
even
but
close.
you're going FTL now. So
Yep.
Maybe you'll
Apparently, I'm
piece it
not.
together when you wake up.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not getting the push-up part of it.
yeah, you're getting the down part. It's the being able to move under fire effectively part that's just not sinking in, I guess. Anything else? Any scenes? Anybody want to have conversations? I know we had a bunch of conversations last week, but I don't like moving from one scene to the next without at least giving you guys a chance to figure something out.
I've made sure to stash extra snacks and reorganize my bag and all that jazz per Sergeant Pike's instruction of how lockers should be packed.
Pike, what I'm hearing is that you need to do a walkthrough of your Marines' lockers and gear bags prior to going down, just to make sure that if something untoward happens before you get to where you're going, they might have a better chance of making it to dirt and being able to shoot effectively.
I mean,
Rather than shoot snacks at people.
If that's what it takes.
When we got ready for a drop that didn't happen, everybody turned up with everything they needed.
Yeah.
So I showed them a faster way to get stuff packed into their locker so that when they, next time that happens, they can be faster out of the lockers. And I didn't make it mandatory. People met standard, but this could help them get the couple extra moments that they might need if the unexpected occurs. He does look approvingly at anybody who readjusts their locker like, that's right.
I'm not making this mandatory, but if you don't do it my way, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Yeah, basically.
Hey. If I do it right, it means more time for coffee.
Yes. I mean, that's definitely a thing. And the other thing too is like just realistically, like everything I ever did in the military, we always had load plans and packing lists. As long as you brought the bare minimum, you were good to go. However you did it, as long as you met the bare minimum, you were good to go. You could bring other shit. You can, socks don't necessarily have to be in this particular pocket or anything like that, but like, just make sure you have all your shit and nobody fucks with you. You want to bring extra shit? Nobody cares. Anything else before we... I'm sorry, go ahead, Luke.
I guess two things. One, I actually follow a TikToker who brought a Game Boy with him wherever he went. He was a combat medic. I'm not sure if that's really a good thing, but people seem to like go with like, okay, fine. It keeps them concentrated for a little bit.
On the Game Boy and not Sectors of Fire as the vehicle rolls down the road. But whatever. I mean, if they're combat medic, they may not necessarily be shooters either.
I used to, especially if we were going to be riding around in convoys, when I owned the original Kindle, the first gen, I used to stick it inside my plate carrier between my chest and my spall liner.
Yeah.
So it was real convenient. I couldn't forget it anywhere. And if I was going to be reading it, I'd be taking my armor off anyways.
Yeah. Sounds about right. I had a Kindle. God, when was this? It was definitely prior to 2014 because that was the last time I was posted at the base here where I am. And I, like most people, I need something to read while I'm in the bathroom. And so I went to go set it down on what was a pipe that was probably about 4 or 5 inches above the floor. But it's a circular pipe, and I guess I didn't lean it right. And it slid off of it and came straight down on the thinnest edge, and it never worked again. And it was frozen forever on that particular page of whatever book I was reading. And I was I was so mad. I'd only had it for like a month. I was so mad. But there was nothing I could do. Like, I tried restarting it and all that, and it didn't work. At any rate, anything else before we move on to where we're going to next?
I'll stop distracting everybody.
No, I don't mind. We do have to do... This is a tabletop role-playing game show, so I guess we have to do some actual tabletop role-playing at some point.
Oh, yeah, I will probably steal my stuffed animal out of my locker and take it to cryo sleep with me.
That's your signature item, right?
Yes.
Yeah, then that makes, yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna argue. You'll get Pike that looks at you maybe and be like, "What do you do? Whatever, just get in the damn pod."
Hey, Pike's probably seen weirder. He'll definitely eyeball it pointedly, like, really? All right.
Zaborski's definitely, yeah. Zaborski's, as he's getting into his pod, he's like, "Seriously, what in the? You know what? Just don't tell me its name, and I won't give a shit."
Yeah, we're not going back for that. You know that.
Yeah, you lose it, that's on you.
That's why it lives in the cryopod and locker. I don't expect it to follow me everywhere. I might drag it if it's forever and ever, but maybe.
Well, that's the thing about signature items. Aren't they supposed to be?
Yeah, they
like,
go with
on
you everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So you can always, like, if instead of having like the big stuffed
I
animal, you have
assume
like a
that
little.
my locker is in my house or in whatever I am currently stationed.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It'll be in the ship, but like when you're on the ground, it won't be with you. So maybe you have like a little.
Yeah, no,
keychain
I will
plushie
definitely
or
take it
something.
like in the pack.
Oh,
But
yeah. In that case, yeah. That, I mean, it definitely would fit.
if I have to tape it to a stick and wave it around a corner to draw fire, I will. But I will be fucking pissed.
What is that
Just
pink
imagine a bunch
axolotl
of-
looking thing? What is that? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. So you do indeed leave Tithonus, and 8 days later, you are woken up somewhere in the middle of space, and you hear, "Good morning, Marines. Time to stow those teddy bears and earn your paycheck. Lieutenant Casados, report to the briefing room. All others, mission briefing in 45 minutes." As soon as that happens, Zimborski. Well, first off, Zimborski and Casados both are like already feet on the deck. Casados is like, just looks. I think she would give Zimborski just a quick look, like, "All right, you got this. I guess I got to go see the old man," and shuffles out to start throwing her uniform on and getting up to the briefing room or wherever the hell. Yeah, the briefing room. Zimborski, on the other hand, just turns in his boxers and kind of similar to Apone, whatever his rank was. I think he was supposed to be a sergeant first class, but similar to Apone, he's got a cigar he's pulled out from behind his ear and he's already plucked it in his mouth. He's like, "Well, ladies, what are you waiting for? Get moving, get your shit, get to the briefing room. Let's go." So you've got about 45 minutes to do whatever you need to do.
Hydration pack pants, hydration pack shirt. Like it's the same.
It's the
Like,
same routine every time.
Every time. Now it occurs to people that Pike is very precise in his waking up routine. It's always entirely identical if he can help it. The same pace, the same order. He's a creature of habit.
Yeah, I get like halfway through the hydration pack by the time I'm done getting dressed, and then it's immediately coffee, hydration pack, waiting, hydration pack, waiting, hydration pack, coffee.
And then spending probably about 10 minutes in the restroom because that's what coffee does to everybody.
Except when you're vaguely allergic to it, and then it's like a 6-hour affair.
Noted. I've got nothing else to say.
My brother is deeply unfortunate in that respect.
Ooh, and caffeine is in so many things too.
It's the coffee specifically, not caffeine.
Okay.
And there's something in the coffee that isn't caffeine that does it to him.
Some other
Roach.
enzyme or something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A roach? Is that what you said?
Most lower end coffee brands have like a
ground up.
6% roach or something.
Seems
Well,
little high,
there's a
but
certain
also not-
percentage amount of flour that is also permitted to be just bugs. So
Yeah.
we don't talk
I'm
about
not
stuff
sure
like
I'm
that.
not sure of like the 6% of like how much the FDA approves is actually roach. However, roaches have an allergic reaction to humans, and we have an allergic reaction to roaches.
Yeah, it's usually something like, ew, a roach.
Yeah.
That was a joke, nothing more.
Yeah, that's technically a psychological reaction. That's not really a
It's not really
physiological
allergic.
allergic reaction.
Yeah, it's not really an allergy necessarily. Anything else before we move into the briefing room?
So Warren is getting kicked by probably several of his compatriots because he is misplaced his pants.
Oh,
fuck
shit!
you.
Pike, get him! Zaborski doesn't even want to touch this shit. He's already washed his hands and walked away, and he's like, "Sergeant, you better handle that shit."
Oh my god.
I think you actually see Zaborski looking at Pike doing. and just about facing right out of there.
I look at Pike and I go walk over there and deal with it, mostly by telling him to turn the fuck around, look at his locker, and pull his fucking bag out because that shit's in there, and stop pretending like you don't know where to find shit.
I'm not gonna lie to you,
made-
Luke. When you threw that shit, my inner staff sergeant almost came out, man.
So I think Pike is standing at the end of the line of lockers. He watches Wescott just sort of look over and swoop in to try to quickly solve the problem, and he just like pointedly puts on his watch and looks down at it and looks up, and then he starts counting down from 10 with his hands.
Okay,
he
you know
finds
what?
it all staffed in there somewhere.
You know what? Just for shits and giggles, I want Warren. Was it Warren?
I clicked on stress by accident.
Yep. Yeah, I want Warren to roll a wits to get his head out of his ass, because I feel like that's literally what's going on here.
Yeah, this dude clearly does not wake up well.
You can push it. Yeah, in fact, I feel like pushing it is definitely warranted because of the stress being automatically added. But it's up to you.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, Wescott, how do you try to fix this?
Yeah, NCOs, I'm leaning on you right now.
Oh God.
It looks like so.
And just to be clear, it's Warren is the NPC one, right?
Yeah, yep. Warren is the buddy, and to paint the picture, Warren is at first frantically looking for his pants, can't find them anywhere in his gear, and then the NCOs descend on him. And now it's can't find his pants under scrutiny and needs his fucking pants. To him. Yeah. This is supposed to be a funny joke. It's failed horrifically.
I'm assuming there's some form of calm the fuck down and do it right roll.
It is a command roll. I believe that's an ability, a talent, though. Am I right, or is it just strictly command?
No, command is a skill.
Yeah. Well, I know command is a skill.
There's talents you can get to give you more options or the ability to do it more often. But otherwise, yeah, you can just roll command.
I just basically just wanted to calm down and, get his shit together.
Yeah, go ahead and make a command roll. That is a success. He apparently takes a moment, and you actually see him, like, he stands up straight, takes a deep-ass breath, and he snaps his fingers like, my other bag. The one that's in, like, not necessarily this locker, but it would be like a Kane probably knows what I'm talking about. This is like a B or C bag. Not your primary bag.
How the hell did he manage to shove all of his pants in the not primary bag?
That sounds like a question for an NCO to get to the bottom of, not the GM.
Yeah, let's just say he ran out of space really quickly and was trying to figure out the new sorting method that Kane wanted, and was like, I'm gonna put them over here for now,
and then forgot to put them in.
So I feel like in the 10 seconds that Pike has counted down, Wescott has gotten him to realize where his pants are, but he still doesn't have them. So Pike is going to reach over one shoulder and grab onto the back of Winston's uniform and drag him over to Warren.
Okay.
And I'm just going to start screaming at Warren. Just like, you are not up. You are not ready. You are not on the line. Your battle buddy's fucking dead. You need to bring him to medical right the fuck now or he dies on your back right now. You lay down on the ground, medic.
Okay. He hugs the ground.
He hugs the ground.
Yeah. Does this give him his other role for hug the dirt?
You know what? Fuck it. I'll allow it just because it made me laugh. Go for it. Go ahead and make a wits roll for Winston.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Damn,
oh no.
Still.
Balls.
So yeah.
I tried. We tried.
Yeah. We're trying hard.
So yeah, I just keep screaming the last instruction over and over and over, like directly into Warren's ear. And he has to pick up Winston and run him to medical without his pants.
Hilarious.
He's gotta just run through so everyone can laugh at him while he carries Winston to medical.
I'm picturing him fireman's carry, Donald Duck style. Donald Duck being
Oh,
his
God.
outfit.
Yeah.
I hope that he at least had clean underwear. At least for Winston's
I'm not
sake.
gonna. You know what? Let's just pretend he did.
Yeah.
And I'm running with him. And every time he like slows down even the slightest bit, I'm just screaming, "He's dying! He's dying! Do not let your buddy die! Fucking move, move!" And just like all the way to medical.
I feel like there's a couple of like ship's crew or other people just like they briefly stop whatever they're doing and they're just like, all right, because they know that Marines do weird shit.
Yeah.
And they're just
Would I
like,
be
whatever.
expected to be jogging after this? Or would I
Oh,
be expected to go deal with the rest of my stuff?
If you are not following and also yelling, Pike is going to grab you by the front of your uniform
Okay.
and drag you
I
along.
just don't. That's one of those things. Is I think my character would know, but I, as a player, don't.
So
Yeah,
what I'm
wait.
hearing is we have an
Marine-
entire
Space Marine
squad.
culture problems.
What I'm hearing is we have an entire squad rolling down the road, not the road, rolling through the halls, heading to medical with a bunch of screaming. And then meanwhile, Winston's just like,
I know Winston's not like a small guy, but like,
I'm pretty sure Watts is just jogging at the end of the line, eating like coffee bar.
I was gonna say, I was definitely looking through my, not looking through my head, thinking through my head. I was like, wait a minute, there's one other person here, and I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Watts is
my
just
other
eating
one,
a
I
protein
just-
bar,
I-
huh?
Yeah, sitting there jogging behind him in a protein bar. His uniform is probably not a version of whatever buttoned up shirt that he is not doing, but it's on, just not on properly.
At this point, it's close enough, especially for right
It's
now.
better than no pants wiki.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's never like, I don't have to button my shirt right now because the spotlight is nowhere near me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm not the biggest fuck up right now. All is good.
I don't have. Listen, I could be a fuck up. I just don't have to be as big of a fuck up as you.
Yeah. Is Wescott joining in on the constant screaming and yelling?
Oh, I would probably join in with status updates of what variety of body part is now falling off of Winston. Just to add to the cacophony.
and Winston's just like pulling up his sleeve, like, oh no, my arm.
Yep.
Oh, that would
You
be
know, with this
amazing.
arterial bleed, I've got like 3 minutes to live, buddy.
Yeah, it's just like
I'm
medical
picturing-
updates.
I'm totally picturing the deadpan. Oh, my arm just fell off. Oh no! As he's
I'm
being
bleeding out
dragged.
after. Oh no, there's bad guys shooting at you.
I'm up. He sees me. I'm down.
Mhm.
I'm not left-handed. I can't sew my right arm back on.
All right. At some point,
This all
probably
solves.
at 43 minutes into the 45-minute window that you have, you manage to find some pants. They may or may not be Warren's pants, but you found pants that fit, and you got them dressed, and you are now in the briefing room. And as you arrive, you will see at the front of the room. Let me actually throw the actual map up. This one. Activate. Then, can you guys see everything all right, or do I need to change the lighting situation?
I
can
see
the
a
map.
ready room and a briefing room and in lockers.
Oh, it's because I don't have tokens on there, which is fine. So, I'm not gonna throw the tokens on. I feel like that's superfluous. Yeah. So you guys are all in the briefing room, and as you come in, you over by the this area right here. I can ping. Can I not ping?
You just click.
Oh,
and
there we
hold.
go. It's right click. Over in that area, you happen to notice that Colonel Hanrahan, Lieutenant Casados, Roy, I'll explain him in just a moment, and Staff Sergeant Zim, and a face that you won't recognize, but he can be described as a ferret-faced corpo guy, corpo being my shorthand for corporate, ferret-faced corporal guy wearing some obviously commercially produced jungle gear, including some what appeared to be some ridiculously priced jungle boots that mimic the appearance of colonial marine gear. Roy, you would have seen him at some point over the last few days, several days, whatever, in between FTL jaunts. Roy is an android or a synthetic person, depending on your opinion. Um, he serves kind of as an advisor of sorts, for lack of a better thing to call it, within the platoon. So he's often seen near or with Casados, and you may or may not have picked up on the idea that Zim is not entirely thrilled with this guy either, but he's never outright said anything about it. Just tension that you can pick up on. At any rate, Casados will order everybody to take your seats, get situated. And as you do that, Hanrahan will have a very quick, quiet exchange with her and leave, leaving her obviously in charge. And Casados herself doesn't wait long before starting up. The room lights will go down. I'm calling it a holocast. You can call it whatever you want. It's basically a holographic slideshow type deal. The holocast begins showing a map of the area for the mission, which is a stretch of land covered in nothing but tropical jungle and topography. And she says, I'm going to read this verbatim here, so bear with me. Welcome to O'Bannon's world. To describe this place, all you need to know is hot tropical jungle and a shitty set of magnetic poles. A few weeks ago, a frontline hospital corps ship, the UAS Glory, was returning to Tithonus when she ran into trouble. She squawked out an SOS, went down over O'Bannon's world, and lost herself beneath the jungle canopy. Now, you guys get to go find her. The trees are a bitch, though. Mother can't visually confirm the location of the crashed ship, and this damn moon's magnetic poles make her orbital sensors all but useless. But you'll be taking Mr. Gannon here with you, and she motions to the corporal guy with the commercial jungle gear and ridiculously priced jungle boots. And she says, he is the company insurance rep. He's here to assess the damage to the Glory and determine what caused the crash. He'll be handy. He's got the transponder code and a tracking PDAT that you'll need to find the wreck underneath all that magnetic interference on the surface. Scanning for the transponder signal, you'll fly a search pattern until you pick up the Glory's beacon. When you find it, your dropship pilot will deploy you over the site with some QTC barrels. Get in there, get the survey, grab the Glory's flight computer, extract any survivors, and blow the ship to hell. We don't want to leave anything behind for anybody to grab it. Surface-to-ship transmission on the moon are impossible without a relay, so the dropship will stay moonside and do check-in flybys. If you need backup or support, your Cheyenne pilot will have to stick their head up out of Atmo and give a holler. Otherwise, your team is on its own down there. Any questions?
So just to make sure I heard that right, we find the ship, grab the flight computer, get survivors, blow the shit up.
In as few words as possible, yes.
Okay.
How long ago did it go down?
A few weeks ago.
Do we have
What
any
kinda-
idea what the original crew complement was?
I don't have that number, but I'm sure we can find something for you. Probably in the neighborhood of a couple hundred. Between crew and sick people. Not sick, sorry. Crew and injured, as well as medical staff. I'm totally making that number up, just so you know. I
What kind
was
of
not given that
fauna
information.
are we dealing with?
I'm sorry?
What kind of fauna are we dealing with?
Tropical jungle. Wait, no, that's animals. The tropical kind. We don't have full inventory of what various bioforms you may encounter, but imagine anything predatory to some really weird shit. Vines that grow incredibly fast, and vines that maybe are sticky, poisonous, etc. Thorny, perhaps. A full survey has never been completely documented on this moon, but it is, for all intents and purposes, a tropical jungle not of Earth origin, probably not terribly dissimilar from Earth. As you can imagine, I don't have all the information I'd like to give you on this one.
So
Be
don't
prepared
step
for
in
anything.
puddles.
It's a tropical jungle. I feel like puddles are going to be everywhere.
Yeah, but so are fish that eat feet.
Okay, I see your logic.
Yep.
Let's see. Are there any colonists or anybody indigenous to the planet?
It's a great question. Um, we are not aware of any formally recognized colonial settlements. However, squatters are always common or possible.
Is there a time limit, or are we there to do what we got to do and leave when we're done?
The sooner the better. We do have a whole war to fight. If you listen to certain generals, I probably shouldn't have said that out loud.
Let's see. I'll look over at Mr. Gannon. How much experience do you have in the field?
You know what? I know there's a bit of a write up on him, and I'm trying to remember where it is. Oh no, it's not. It's actually in the book. To be honest, none. I am quite capable in the corporate boardroom and various other sorts of environs. Tropical jungle, not so much. These boots are pretty comfy, though.
They look comfortable. Any weapons experience?
I know my way around a firearm.
So he's gonna be babysit by.
This guy is not Marine material. That is visually evident right off the bat. He definitely looks like someone who is trying to play a part that he has no understanding.
So who's gonna babysit him?
That's what I hear in my head too.
That's what you guys get to do. He's going with you guys.
Don't. Pike's already thinking about this.
So how many people are going down? Is it just going to be like...
It will be the 5 of you plus Mr. Gannon.
Okay.
In case, and I'm saying that out of character too. That because I feel like you guys would know that. Actually, no, it's not.
I'm assuming it would be based on the number of people in this room.
Yeah, the Casados and Zimborski and Roy will remain on the ship, and they will activate other elements as needed if you need additional support on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's generally implied how this works. And in fact, I think Zimborski probably would have taken a moment somewhere along the way to explain that to you guys. Because one thing he would have definitely pointed out is that Colonel Hanrahan loves to do a lot of shit with as absolutely minimal allocation of resources as possible. If it takes a platoon, he's sending a team.
If it takes a team, he's sending a squirrel.
Pretty much. That's a great way to put it, too.
I'm trying to think of the politic way of, so, how long are we expected to be there if you guys just randomly fly off without us? Because if we're only 5 people plus a dude on the planet, and there's an entire ship in orbit...
there's the only ship in orbit is the Tambatam. The
Cheyenne that's what I'm saying.
But
I have like the inner sense of fear in the back of my head that the Tan-Batan will leave us here.
That never happens. Marine ships never leave Marines on the ground. Never, Rodans. I'm sorry. I'm only meaning to fuck with you a little bit, not mess with your head totally. So
I always have like that vague paranoia of, how do I get out of here?
I mean,
I'm relying on this Cheyenne to get me from Jungle Moon to Tan-Batan.
Yeah. So the Cheyenne is basically
like on the moon.
I'm sorry.
What is like the survivability of the moon? Like is it breathable atmo and stuff like that?
Or standard atmosphere.
Okay.
Other than the fact it's a tropical jungle, so it's gonna be hot, humid, and let me reiterate, hot, humid.
Unpleasant.
Yes, but otherwise breathable. The Cheyenne will be doing what's called orbiting, which is they'll have like a flight path around the ground location, so they can stay in touch with you guys as needed. But if you need support from above, like from the Tambatam, they literally have to leave you, go up out of atmosphere to clear the EM bubble or whatever you want to call it around the planet in order to get a clear line of communication. the electromagnetic interference really fucks up long range communication. Short range, like what you guys will be using on the ground, will be fine. It's reaching past the atmosphere, basically.
We're not going to discuss how the magnetic poles like to wander around and then flip to the other side of the planet.
That never happens on any planet ever, anywhere in the entire universe. I don't know why. Let me stop gaslighting. I'm sorry.
Just like screaming at me.
What's that?
Everything I know about physics is just screaming at me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're Marines, not physicists or whatever they're called.
I'm assuming that's Pike actually says that, right?
He has no idea what a physicist is.
I love how he said physicist. I think at some point Zaborski is just gonna be like, cut this shit. You got your orders. Get to the fucking locker room and get prepping. You got 45 minutes to dust off. Kind of just cutting off any further conversation. Although you are free to mumble amongst yourselves.
Mr. Gannon.
Walking.
Yes.
Perhaps you'd like to do gear checks with us.
That sounds... He stutters for a moment as if he was like, why do I feel like I'm being set up? That sounds like a wonderful idea. Let me grab my pack.
Excellent.
He's definitely going to grab a backpack or something.
The rest of you head to the locker room. I want a gear drag. I'll be down there in a moment with Mr. Gannon.
Sounds good.
Oh, you're gonna.
Warren gets the death glare as we walk back.
Oh no, I feel like Warren is being literally held in place, like somebody's got an arm on his upper on his tricep, and just leads him down the hallway. It's your call, though. I'm just picturing that in my head.
Oh, I don't need to drag him. I can just glare at him, and he scurries along. He's already been cowed enough for today.
He's already been scolded.
Yeah.
Been conditioned by Wescott to listen to her glares.
I mean, if I like jump on tippy toes, I could probably smack him in the head. I mean, realistically, arms reach farther than that, but yeah, I'd be like tippy toes tapping him on the top of the head.
Just
because I'm assuming he's like
just carry a couple shower shoes with you and just have them ready to go at any moment.
Chawalas.
Well, chanclas. You know, in the military, we would call them shower shoes.
Shower shoes, yes. Nah, I don't need to go that far.
All right. Well, let's have Pike, interrogate Gannon here, because I feel like that's what's about to happen.
Pike's not trying to haze the guy, and he's not trying to be, like, rough with him either. He's just, like, he's sending the rest of them to go get their stuff dragged out so we can do gear checks, and he's waiting with Gannon. He's not assuming that he knows how to get to where our lockers are.
He's got I feel like he probably would have had, like, a go bag ready. Either in the briefing room because he knows the timeline, or if not there, then it would have been like super close by that he would be able to quickly grab it and catch up. So he's like, "All right, what's your name? You're Pike, is that right?"
Yes.
Pike, I'm Gannon or Ken. And he sticks his hand out. I can't put my hand in front of the camera; I'll disappear.
I'll reach out a meaty hand and shake it.
Yeah, wow, that's a strong grip you got there. Shakes his hand a little bit.
Well, I know that not everybody takes kindly to this type of thing, but I've spent most of my life around company men. So I know you're good at what you do. I will trust and assume that you are good at what you do.
Wouldn't be here if I wasn't. I would hope anyway.
I just ask that you trust that we're good at what we do. So when you're in our element, if you do what we say with no questions, then when we're in your element, I'll do the same.
Well,
mutual professional respect.
That makes a lot of sense, and I don't know what it would be, what kind of situation we'd have to be in to have you guys, in a corporate boardroom, but they wouldn't be fine.
There's people who are good at being there. We're not them, but we are good at living in the suck. And as long as you do as long as you follow my lead, I'll get you out the other side of the suck.
Sounds like a good idea. With any luck, we'll get to the ship. We'll grab what we need to do, figure out about survivors, and blow it all to hell and get out of here.
Yep.
Sure, there's a meeting I'm missing right now.
So this whole gear drag thing, I want to make sure that my Marines have everything they need. It also lets you have an idea of what we have. And you participating is a great way to be friendly. It's also a great way for me to make sure that my expertise might be able to cover some pieces of equipment that those who recommended things to you might not have known about. Make sure you got everything you need.
Some integration and cross overlap.
Yep. I would pull an extra set of jungle specific gear out and lay it off to the side as we're getting our stuff ready.
Okay. So speaking of gear, I actually need to give you guys something. So, you will be receiving, in addition to your normal gear, there will be 3 50-gallon drums of QTC that are being loaded onto the dropship. Each of you will also be receiving a RMAT Type 4 breach charge. So let me pull up the character sheets right quick so I can make sure you guys all have that. Also, take this time now to make sure all appropriate gear is active on your character sheets.
And yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and stuff my breaching charge in my pack.
Mine.
I'll armor up.
Oh, there it is, right there.
And then while I have everybody else getting straps to help us carry these drums through the jungle.
Well, yes, you'll want to get straps, but the barrels themselves are already being loaded. Like as you guys are doing your gear check, they are actively being loaded on the dropship. Just in case you missed that, or I missed.
I'm going to send people off to do, like I'll send Winston off to medical to make sure that if there's anything
is
that
overloaded.
I'm trying to figure out how.
Okay, I have a couple questions about the ammunition.
Okay, let's get the ammunition in just a moment. But when I say overloaded, he's not over encumbrance. He just is currently encumbered, which means he's at half his capacity. So you may.
I'm trying to figure out how, because he wasn't like that before. Rolls.
I mean, he just got another item.
Yeah, right? That's what it did. It was the breaching charge. So. You can always ask if somebody else can carry it for him, or figure something out in that regard. Everybody is getting the breaching charge. Oh, also Winston is now over their midpoint encumbrance. Yeah, that's because you're being given that breaching charge. So maybe, I'm not saying you have to do this, but maybe reconsider what you are taking with you. I personally would not recommend not taking something with you, but Wescott is also over half point. That's also because Wescott has only 2 strength, so. Obviously, your armor and weapons are needed for obvious reasons.
How do I switch from Winston to Warren for the breaching charge?
Ooh, that is a good question.
You drag and drop it from one inventory to the other.
Would that work? Do they have that access?
Oh, it did.
Okay,
it did.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, because they have ownership over their own character sheets, right? So they should be able to do that. Okay.
And then you just make sure you delete it from yours after it copied over properly.
Oh, delete it from my copy of their character?
No. So when you've dragged it from one of your characters to the other, it will add it to that sheet, but it will not remove it from the original. So you'll just need to make sure you remove it from the original.
Okay. And that was directed more at you, Luke, than it was at me.
Yeah, I figured it out.
So I would like, once everybody's got their personal gear and they've figured out what they're doing with these breaching charges, I'm going to send Winston to medical to see if he can convince Cajole, Steel, Squirrel, whatever, any additional medical supplies.
That would be fun. Maybe extra med packs or
whatever he can get his grubby fingers on.
It's not provolone.
Naproleve,
that's it.
Yeah, just anything that he can get his hands on, that he can carry.
All right.
Yeah.
And I would like to go through what Gannon has to make sure that he has that we're not going to be stuffed by some sort of
I didn't bring any water.
Yeah, it's that sort of shit. I want to make sure that while his gear is stupid, that he at least has what he needs.
So on that note, in order to add food and water, so I imagine he's going to have some marine MREs or something that he can have access to for his loadout. But otherwise, if he goes, well, I mean, he's an NPC, but also just for the added drama of it. If he runs out of water and has to use somebody else's water, like how do I add that to his character sheet? Can I add just food and water, or is there?
You can, or you can just do things as you wish. You can be like, yeah, sure, he's got food and water, and then just choose to have him run out whenever. It's the fun of
Okay,
being a
yeah,
game master in
yeah,
this
that is.
particular
Yeah,
system.
I could do. I was thinking more like,
Well, our
on the
food and
sheet,
water
but-
lives in our individual marine packs, so we would probably make him take food, water, and a med kit at a minimum.
Oh yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me see
I mean,
what my.
but I want to make
And,
sure that at least narratively he's showing up with
Oh yeah,
a med kit, so we have stuff to use on him. Make sure that he's got like 50% more food and 50% more water than the Marines are getting.
because
Because
he's
I
not
have no idea
as in
what
shape. Yeah.
right. And that's really it. Like I don't really need him to have any more than that. Like everything else we can drag him through. So but I want to make sure he has those. It's not one of those like, well, I showed up with my cool stuff. I needed, oh, I didn't think we were going to be there long enough that I was going to need food, and I haven't been in a jungle. I didn't realize I'd be this thirsty. Like that's really what I
I
want to
added
cover.
3 bottles of water. Oh, I guess maybe if I need to make them active first. There it goes. Okay, I got water on him, so I can at least pretend when he runs out of water. And he's got. What did I just give him? I gave him something else too. I gave him, other than the equipment the book says he has, I gave him a personal med kit, and then 3 bottles of water.
And three MREs.
Is that what I'm looking for? Is MRE? I
I'm
tried
not
under
sure what's
food.
exactly in the item thing, but essentially that's what we're looking to put
Oh,
on
maybe if I
him.
look for ration. No, food didn't do it. Let me see. Coffee, hard liquor. Mine.
Oh, you could edit the name of the entry to just be food/water, and then you can just add a food and water meter to it, just like what we did with the backpacks, the marine packs.
Oh, that's right, because you did say you had adjusted them at one. What?
Or if it makes it even easier, you can just drag one of the marine packs from one of us onto his sheet to clone it. Because it's basically the contents. We don't like just the pack itself at a minimum is just food, water, med kit.
Yeah, let's duplicate it, and then configure.
I'm also going to go to the quartermaster. Oh, I did have one more thing while Gannon was dragging his stuff out. Does he have a weapon?
He does. He had ES4 semi-auto electrostatic pistol.
Okay. Okay. I am gonna go to the armory and try to get some reloads for the team.
Okay, give me just a second. I think I'm done putting Gannon together. This one. He now has 3 things that look oddly like water bottles, but they're actually food and water. Food, water.
So
Alright.
my consumables at the air, food, water, power thing, that's
Mhm.
that's what I have for okay.
Yep. Okay. So 2 things that we need to do. One was medical shit, and somebody wanted to attempt to get additional medical supplies. So in both cases, normally Mother is the one that authorizes your loadout. However, you're attempting to take a slightly different path because we all know Mother is only going to go by what's prescribed by some bean counter based
I
on
feel
certain
like
parameters.
everybody under Colonel Hanrahan would know that what Mother recommends and what the Colonel expects are 2 vastly different standards. So
Yeah.
the human element is back in full swing.
yeah. I feel like that's a fair thing. Winston, when you go to the medical bay, of course it's skeleton staff, simply because we only keep as many people up and awake as necessary. But there are a couple people around, and you can interact with let's call them a pharmacy tech. And if you would like, well, we'll do this. We'll do the short method. Give me an empathy roll to see if they are kind enough to provide some additional supplies. You can
No.
push that. Your team is expecting you to come back with additional medical supplies, so. Ooh, but you do
But I gotta
have
stress.
to roll. Yep, and you have to roll panic.
How do I roll panic?
On your character sheet, there should be
Just click the word stress.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
You're fine.
However, that stress is going to stick with you until I deem it otherwise. However, you did roll a success in there, so
Yeah.
you managed to convince whoever it is, your pharmacy tech, third class, Joe, what's his face? What am I looking for? I just looked it up a minute ago. Here we go.
Mr. What's his face?
I'm giving you 2 additional med packs for this mission.
You mean napper leave?
Is that all that's in the med kit? I feel like there's
Oh,
could be
personal
more.
med kit. Okay, yeah. And I am just at my limit. Perfect.
Yep. And let me switch it back to Zoom so people can stop seeing what I'm doing. Sergeant Pike, you're attempting to acquire more ammunition. I feel like
Yep.
this is where things get slightly more complicated than just, let me get some extra pills. Let me get some extra band-aids. I see you're
Sorry.
rolling wits already. Oh, that wasn't you. Never mind.
That was me clicking on something by accident.
So I mean, I feel like it's pretty standard that what we've got packed up in the lockers is just our weapons. So I'm basically going to ammo issue for the team.
Yeah. Are you attempting to acquire additional ammo or additional types of ammunition that you normally wouldn't carry?
I'm not trying to get anything unusual.
Okay, just your standard loadout?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get 2 reloads for everybody's assigned primary weapons.
Okay. Well, in that case, I feel like that's the book answer. You shouldn't have to roll anything for that.
Yeah, I'm not looking for anything weird.
Yeah. You get somebody comes out and says, "Hey, Sergeant, if you want to grab that box, I'll take this one, and we can head down to your lockers and make sure everybody gets all their shit."
I bet you're probably busy. Let me just sign the papers. I can carry it all.
He looks at you like, "Yeah, you know what? All right, here, just tap this and sign that." That sounded
Yeah,
weird too.
yeah. He signs. I'm signing out like 600 rounds of blah blah blah, and then he picks up.
About a dozen grenades of various types.
Yeah, the grenades we need to just do our 1 load on each of our pulse rifles, and
Yeah.
and I'll just pick up the ammo cans and I'll walk them back down where everyone's.
I was picturing the big wooden box ammo crates.
Oh,
Not the
he's
big
got
ones,
one
but
over
like
each shoulder.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Somebody almost runs into you and they do a quick backpedal and sidestep to get out of your way.
If you look at your weapons in the inventory, there's a reload box. You can just put a 2 for your rifles.
What about my pump action 12 gauge shotgun?
That's not part of your standard kit. So you've got what's in it.
Who has the shotgun? Winston?
Yeah.
He got part of his background role. He kept his shotgun.
Oh, that was a background event thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's gonna sacrifice his shotgun for the med kits.
Okay. So I'm looking at Winston's character sheet in particular. You have a number of I know you're dealing with encumbrance issues, but you're probably going to want to bring your surgical kit, your never sleep may not be as important. Your nap relief, you're going to want to bring that.
Yep. We're good now.
As well as I gave you those 2 additional personal med kits. I'd strongly recommend bringing those.
No, I just put away the shotgun and we're good.
Okay. Well, inactive is basically in your backpack. Is that right, Kane?
Yeah.
Inactive is in your backpack. Lockers being left on the temp.
Okay. All right. Never mind. I was looking at it wrong then. Gotcha. Okay, I think in that case, unless you guys have anything else that you want to do before departure, I think that's everything.
Did we get straps so we can haul these barrels?
Is there a specific item I need to give you for that, or can we just hand
That's
it
just a
over?
narrative question.
Okay, yeah. I feel like you would get some sort of carry apparatus or assist carry apparatus. It might just be
Because
500
otherwise it'd
feet
be
of
awkward to just like bear hug these things through the
yeah,
jungle.
you
So
might just end up getting. You know what? You know what? Just for shits and giggles, just because it'd be hilarious to me, give me give me a wits roll.
to try to get these straps.
Well, to get the appropriate type of assistance.
Okay.
Apparatus.
Can I roll command to lean on
Sure.
some junior guys to get me what I'm supposed to get?
Sure, you can throw a little extra command in there. You
I'll push
get
it.
500 feet. Oh, you're rolling it. Oh, pushing it. Okay, yeah. You the clerk that you're talking to starts to give you a pack of what appears to be 500 feet of 550 cord, and then he realizes between the look and the fact that you did indeed explicitly describe 50-gallon barrels. He's like, no, that's not gonna work. And so he takes the 550 cord, sticks it back under the counter, and pulls out a couple. I have no idea. 50 gallons times 5 is like 250 pounds. Does that sound right? If assuming because the weight of water is about 5 pounds per gallon or something, not 5 pounds. It's something like that though.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's several, probably a couple hundred pounds. So what you end up getting is a set of, and by a set I mean it would be. I'm picturing this in my head. I'm kind of making this up too. It would be a vest that two people would wear. Obviously each one of you has a vest, and you would be able to carry this uh, barrel between the two of you.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a buddy assist carry kit. It probably says something stupid like that. It says back on it, actually. That's amazing.
Yeah, and there's a little tab hanging off the side of it, product of Wayland Yutani or some shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It's fucking. If it's not Wayland Yutani, it's Siegson. There's probably not too many others. But it's actually. This is funny because I didn't even think about it. It actually does spell the word back, and it has a logo under it. It's a motto or whatever. It's like put your back into it. But it's literally buddy assist carry kit. Fucking, I'm a fucking genius. Made by Wayland Yutani for our Marines and for you.
I'm going to distribute these harnesses out, and I'm giving one to Gannon.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, one more
Who's the
time.
lucky Marines?
I'm giving them. I'm making sure everybody has one of those.
Oh yeah, you
kits.
you definitely get two sets because you got 3 barrels, right?
Okay,
could
what
definitely
exactly is QEC that
Q-
we're having to carry it with us?
It's an acronym.
QTC,
It's basically napalm. Think of it as napalm.
It's a high explosive napalm.
QTC or QEC?
TC.
Yeah, TC.
It's a extremely high explosive napalm. It's very dangerous. It's also
very
volatile, so if we toss these things around, they're liable to just detonate.
I mean, they're not necessarily as volatile. Well, I might be wrong, but they're not necessarily as volatile as say nitroglycerin. But I do believe nitroglycerin analog is involved in the construction of QTC. It's in the
very
book.
potent. It's very nasty.
It's in. I want to say it's in the core book, a brief write up on it, but I could be wrong.
But yeah, so there's 3 barrels, so we'll have 3 sets of these harnesses.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I guess
I'll make sure each of my 4 Marines have them. I'm gonna have one for myself, and I pointedly look at Gannon and I hand him the 6th one.
Well, I feel like it's a in each pack is the one kit of 2 vests because you would work together, right?
Okay, but
yeah. Either way, yeah.
And 2 people on a barrel. That means everybody, including Gannon, is going to help. So I hand him a harness.
Yep, Gannon is definitely gonna. He's actually thinking about grabbing another bottle of water. But anyway, okay. Anything else?
I want to take. I want to look at everybody. Just do like a once over of their gear.
Okay.
Does it look like anybody's struggling with their stuff?
And I leave the answer to that to the players. If anybody, I'm thinking Warren only because he's a bit of a shitbag.
I kind of dumped extra. So, I'm not quite sure how to balance this one out because ammo costs weight too. So I can get one character down to under, that puts the other person over by 2.5K or
So
2.5
which-
kilograms.
How much
So
are you
which-
playing with?
Which one?
Watts.
Which one of you is carrying more stuff? Which one of you is going to be over the line?
Watts is over right now.
Yeah, the problem is even if I went over, that would put me so much more over. Is there any difference between being over and being like more over?
Nope, it's just a status. Are you in the red and not maxed out? It
Okay.
involves making more stamina checks and making them regularly.
If you put this in your
So-
inactive, if you put some of this stuff in inactive, would it reduce?
No.
No, because you're still carrying it.
Okay. I didn't know
So
if
I
they
guess-
counted backpacks differently like that.
So
Because
if
inactive
you're-
is in your backpack.
Right.
So I just tried just stacking it all together to see how it would turn out, and it's still ugly.
So is Wescott trying to carry the extra gear for her and her buddy?
I think Watts is trying to carry the extra kit.
Well, I'm just testing to see, because if it doesn't make any more sense, if there is no difference between being over and then even more over, I would actually put it on Westcott. I've been dragging them back and forth to see how it looks.
Okay. So yeah, Pike is checking everybody to make sure, everybody looks squared away. And you get that when you're wearing like a heavy backpack or something and you're trying to relieve the stress by sticking your thumbs in it and whatever.
Leaning over
Mhm.
as you
Yeah,
stand
Pike-
up.
Yeah, Pike sees Westcott like that and just sort of like gives an approving nod and then bodily turns you around and starts fishing in your backpack. Um, what does Pike have to take to get you out of the red?
Reach charge, probably.
Breach charges, 2 of them.
Okay, I'll take the 2 breaching charges.
Okay.
Watts
'cause,
down in the green again.
Yeah, because that would put Watts is still under a limit by a touch. So I will
And then-
put that stuff back in my locker.
And then Westcott.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Westcott is right at 50%. Still green.
Cool. Green silver looking.
Dude, I'm always right at 50%. I have 2 strength.
Yeah, I know.
So do
But-
you want to drop those breaching charges on my sheet?
I think she deleted them. Did you?
But she.
I
Oh no,
didn't
you
drop
put them in the
them
foot
on my
locker.
sheet.
You put them on the
I
foot
need-
locker.
I need you to put them on my sheet.
I straight up can't see his sheet, so
Yeah. The DM intervention required.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
My bad. I misunderstood what was needed there. That's on me. Give me just a second here.
Wait,
Alright, so-
actually, no. I think I can do this. I'll just do that, and okay, I'm good. I have 3 breaching charges,
you
and
did.
yeah, I'll close the backpack down. I'll cinch it back up the way it's supposed to be, and I'll just like turn you back around and slap you once on the chest approvingly.
mhm.
Load up, everyone.
Zimborski is standing there watching this, and he's just, I think a couple of times shaking his head, a couple of times got his hands on his hips, just going like, what the shit?
Oh, and we make sure Warren has pants, okay? I'm not dealing with that again today.
Oh, so you know how, like, because this is, future space, like Vietnam nonsense, right?
Yeah.
So instead of having like the towel around the neck for the jungle,
Yeah.
he has a second pair of pants around his neck.
He just looks absolutely ridiculous, too.
Yeah,
Now, is this part of his corrective training, or is this just
It
because
is.
he's a dumbass?
this is part of his corrective training.
Okay, he will now have
I'm-
2 pairs
I'm
of pants
making
on at
him
all
like-
times.
Making him look like an absolute buffoon, so it lays in that he needs to remember that shit.
Yeah.
And once we're in the drop ship and we're locking our gear up, I'll tell him to take the pants off from his neck and stuff them in his bag.
All right. Yeah, I think eventually, as you finalize the last little bit, Zimborski, waves or yells something to Pike.
I'll
And
jog
just-
over.
Yeah, well, he was. I was trying to explain it or trying to figure out how to word it. He's not trying to get you to come to him. He's just trying to get your attention for one last, gives you a little thumbs up, good luck sort of look.
Yep. I'm ushering the kids onto the bus. I look
Yeah.
over and I throw some horns back to acknowledge.
Yeah. I think that's actually what it is. I think he gives you the horns, but he also does the horns pointing at you,
Yeah.
which is kind of like his way of saying, good luck. I'm watching. Don't let them fuck this up. And then the dropship descends from the hangar bay into its, I'm going to call it a launch chute. I don't know what exactly it would be, but eventually it separates from the Tambatam. And for a few moments, other than the brief kick to the back that the main engines provide when they fire up, it's a pretty smooth flight for the most part. And then probably about 10 or 20 minutes later, you hit atmosphere, and it gets bumpy and rocky, and it's just everything's rattling. You feel like your teeth are rattling inside your head. For Pike, I gotta know, is he sleeping or is he awake?
He wants to, but he's watching Ganon.
Oh,
like,
Ganon!
He's
Go ahead.
super bored right now, and he would like to take like a half-hour power nap. But he's trying to get a gauge on how put together Ganon is going to be. So he's watching to see his reaction to the drop.
Well, that roll is not good.
Does Ganon look like he needs an air sickness bag?
Oh, Ganon is turning a couple of different interesting shades.
Oh yeah, I immediately toss an air sickness bag at Ganon.
I imagine it's OD green and it says bag, sickness, air on it.
Yes.
And there's an NSN printed underneath.
Oh,
it,
absolutely. 1001-00-. Yeah, Ganon is not looking good. He looks like he's aware, so it's not like he's actively fighting the eventual upcoming, but he's definitely not looking good. And then finally you penetrate the upper atmosphere, several thousand feet above the surface, and things kind of smooth out, not unlike a traditional commercial air flight. You do hear over the radios, I imagine, I don't know, I feel like the Marines in Aliens, they all had like some sort of little, well, they had the little speaker on their helmets, didn't they?
Yeah, we've all got
mics,
headsets.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you hear the static is, for the first couple of minutes of the transition through the upper layers of the atmosphere, it is absolutely abysmal. There's a lot of people doing this, like, oh my god, this shit is so loud, or it's unruly or whatever. And then as you get into the smooth part of the atmosphere, the static pretty much chills out, but it's constant. It's a lot more muted now.
Can I sit there and try to tweak it so we don't have to feel like we're going deaf the entire time?
You could attempt to. I'll allow a comms tech roll. I keep saying comms tech. I know the skill is actually comm tech. Go ahead and make your little comm
It
tech.
is? I think it's comms tech too in my head.
You know what? Let me see.
Yeah, okay, I know the S
It's
is
comms tech.
there, but I call it comms tech in my head too.
I do too.
With
I do
two
too.
M's.
Jesus
It's got to have the
Christ,
two M's.
that's a lot of dice, and you only got one. You're able to get your headset to be less snarky than it was a few minutes ago. Unfortunately, you're not entirely sure how you did it, because you only rolled one success, so you're not sure if you can actually reproduce the results on anybody else's. So your headset is pretty quiet and chill. Everybody else has got that low. You know you know what tinnitus
That
sounds
white
like?
noise machine.
You know what tinnitus sounds like?
Yes, I know what tinnitus sounds like, and it's not fun.
I'm not trying to make fun of anybody who suffers that, but as an example, instead of the ringing sound, it's a shh sound.
Yes, the white
And every now and
noise.
again, it's not just white noise. It's like it pops or it has a crackle to it, maybe even a snap. I digress. Let me see. You can hear each other just fine on comms, by the way. Like, nothing seems to be overly interfering with that. It's just that, trying to get any more than that is going to be impossible. Sitting up just behind the cockpit, Ganon is, once the flight levels out, and I think you got to get the feeling that this is now you're in the search pattern mode. You're actively attempting to find the transponder signal. Gannon has moved from ye old troop seat to a workstation that is just behind the cockpit, and he's got his PDAT out, and he's working with the workstation trying to, triangulate the signal. Anybody want to maybe see if they could help out in some fashion? Any communications type people or people who know what signals look like?
I would probably like get up to start walking over there, glance at Pike real quick, keep walking.
Yeah, you get a nod.
Yeah.
He's appreciating the initiative. He wouldn't know
The
the
drop
fuck to do
ship
with that
banks
anyways.
a bit, by the way, as you're moving. Not a wild bank, but you've been on an aircraft and you feel when it shifts a bit from a bank. It's not a wild bank, but it's obvious the dropship is starting a turn. Go ahead and give me that comtech roll, but let me get the foundry up in the view here. Go ahead and give me that comtech. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of dice. Okay.
That's
2
just
successes.
I have 9 by default.
Yeah.
The 3 are coming from my gear that I'm carrying.
Yeah. I probably should have had you not use the gear, but it's fine. You still get the 2 successes either way. There was more than enough dice for that. You actually spend a few minutes working with Gannon, and you tweak a few settings. You dial a few knobs one way or the other, and whatnot. And it doesn't take long, and you actually get. Hang on, let me get my notes right. You actually do get a ping on where the transponder or the Glory is. You get a clear indication that if you go on this heading for this long, you'll zero in on the Glory. Additionally, you pick up, because of that additional success, there is what appears to be an unidentified craft approaching fast. It appears to be not just approaching, intercepting.
That very quickly.
Yeah, the pilot, as soon as you're getting ready to say that, the pilot shouts back, "Hey, strap in. It's gonna get shitty."
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, craft. And then I'm like, yeah. As I jog past Pike back to my seat, intercept craft.
Everyone prepare for combat drop.
Yeah, and I think about the same time you say that, the dropship suddenly banks very sharply to one side. And we're talking like 45 at a minimum. It's banking hard. And then it banks back the opposite direction, just as hard. And then it like drops, and then it rises up. It's active evasion is what's going on. And then suddenly it flattens out. And then the pilot you see the pilot doing one of these, like leaning back over her shoulder. Excuse me. And you hear them yell. You kind of hear, anybody who's ever worn like headsets, you hear what comes through the headset, but you'd also hear when somebody else is yelling into the headset because things are just loud. You hear, "All right, I think we're clear." Her words are suddenly cut off. The cockpit explodes as lots of something, suddenly ripped through the front end of the dropship. Sparks, glass, debris, blood, all spray back from the cockpit into the rear section, and then the dropship starts to list to one side. A slight bank and pitch downward, as apparently whoever was at the controls is no longer at the controls.
Pike?
Sirens are loud.
Pike is
does the
punching his
cockpit
harness
still
open?
exist?
Yeah.
Okay, one at a time. Go ahead, Pike.
Pike is punching his harness open, and he's running up towards the direction of the cockpit.
Okay, and then Rodance?
Right behind him.
Okay, I can only allow one, because as Pike... I'll tell you what, here's what I'll do. Both of you make me a mobility roll, and whoever has the better roll will be the one to proceed.
I'll pretty much guarantee not it.
Who got a Pike, you got stress? Oh, you pushed the roll, didn't you? Yeah, that's right.
I pushed the roll, yeah.
Yeah.
So we could get the right stuff to carry the barrels.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, Pike is moving faster than Wescott. And what happens is Pike is like, the glass hasn't even finished exploding back with a spray of blood behind it. Pike has already hit the quick disconnect on the harness or the belt. And
I see he's going to beat me to the cockpit.
Oh, it's not even that. He gets moving, and it's before you can even do anything, you're slung back into your seat as the G-forces suddenly increase, because this plane is now in a starting in a flat spin.
Uh,
And Pike has managed to somehow, because he passed the mobility overall, able to make it into the cockpit despite it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I need everybody to take 1 point of stress, by the way. It's sweat time. So on all 5 character sheets, you just have to click on the little plus thing next to your stress.
Well, I heard the voice cut out
Yeah,
from the pilot, so Pike is assuming that the pilot is out of action.
that's one way to phrase it.
Best case scenario, it's shrapnel took out the pilot.
Yes.
So he's trying to get up there and knowing that there are no pilots on board, but he's at least a well-coordinated big man.
That's one way.
He
He's
wants-
almost as big as the dropship. That counts, right?
So his plan is to get into the cockpit, drag the pilot to the deck,
Mhm.
get in, and try to stop the spin so we don't all die.
That sounds like
That's an idea.
That sounds like the smartest idea I may have heard in a while. I need a pilot roll, and let me throw that up on the stream here. Go ahead and give me that pilot roll, please. That is a success. That's actually 2
Let's see.
successes.
What am I gonna do with this stunt? I'm gonna take a +1 to a later skill roll related to this one, just
Okay.
in case this gets really shitty, even if I pass this roll.
Okay. Yeah, it is a fight. The controls are bucking hard. It's almost as if some of the control surfaces are sheared off or damaged, or the runs between the let's say the wire from the joystick to the ailerons or whatever were severed in whatever that attack was. You also notice as you're fighting control, it's not another dropship, it's a fighter. And it is coming back around for another pass, but you managed to get the Cheyenne under just enough control to prevent an actual crash. Like, you managed to level it out, probably a few hundred feet off the deck, but there are trees coming up, and they're coming up very fucking quick for obvious reasons.
Yeah. So I don't want to try to stay above the canopy because it's trees or missiles.
Or machine guns or whatever else that thing has.
Or it's missiles then trees.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd rather just take the trees once.
Okay.
I want to try to
Hmm.
bring this in for some sort of controlled crash. I don't want if I don't think there's anything that I could land in like water or something to stop the violence of the impact, then I'm gonna try to radio back for someone to dump the QTC so it doesn't detonate on impact and kill us all.
You realize, of course, that at certain speeds, water is just as bad as concrete, right?
Right, but at least it wouldn't be like tree
No,
ground.
no.
You know what I mean?
But
Like-
actually, tree would be better because it would be a gradual slowing down as opposed to that water would be.
So I'm trying to put it down.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I don't think there's any chance that I can put it down without a large shock.
Yeah,
If I
yeah,
don't think I
yeah.
can skid it in.
I think that's what happens. I'm not gonna make you roll, and I'm not gonna make you use up the stash roll. But I think with the fact that you had, I know that it doesn't necessarily count as a success because when on stress dice, it really only matters if you roll the 1 and not the 6.
No, it counts as a full success if you roll a 6.
It says that you only. That's weird because it has
6 on stress is just like rolling 6 on
Oh,
everything
I
else.
see. Okay. All right. Yeah. What I will do though, you can keep that other save it for next time bonus, but I will also say that because you pulled off 2 successes, that you do manage to bring the dropship in. So you leveled out and trees are coming like super fucking quick, but you managed to somehow put in a little bit of an angled flat spin, a la I'm riding my bike really, really fast, and I want to leave as big of a skid mark as I can on the concrete.
Mhm.
You're doing one of those, except it's with a dropship, so it's obviously far more complicated. But you manage to do it in such a way that you bring the dropship down into the trees. The trees actually help slow you down, and the sound is horrendous. It's all the sounds you've ever heard driving too close to a brush or bush. That screeching, squealing sound of tree branches against the side of your vehicle. I know what that sounds like. Don't ask me how I know. Do it every damn day. But Yeah, it's that, and it's just like amplified. There's like trees falling in the jungle. There's not necessarily explosions, but there is just the sounds of so much machinery being broken. But you have made it to the surface of O'Bannon's world, and you're alive, which is not the same as your dropship. Your dropship, as you eventually come out of it and take a moment to assess how shitty this scenario is, let me tell you, it's pretty fucking shitty. It is said that any landing you can walk away from is a good landing, and this, while terribly rough, and at the cost of the lives of the pilot and flight crew, was therefore a good landing. You guys have plenty of bumps, scrapes, and bruises. Gannon is shivering in a corner, frightened. He looks like he's definitely vomited all over his pretty little jungle boots. But otherwise, everybody's fine, as far as the player characters and whatnot go.
I feel like Pike walks through that little divider door into like the cabin where everybody else is, and he looks totally calm. And he's just like, he just takes a quick look through the room and goes, "Flight crew needs care."
Nobody's dead. Imagine
I
that.
will
Wescott, talk to
I will
Gannon,
go
please.
assess that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You don't even need to make a roll, medic. Winston.
Okay.
Winston, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winston, when you get up onto the flight deck, the pilot has been effectively shredded from like the left shoulder down along the left side of their body. If they lived through that, they would have bled out far too long ago for you to have been able to do anything.
Okay.
I'm going to say that I believe there's at least 2 people on the flight team for Cheyenne, and the second guy, decapitation.
Oh, wow.
I don't think we really need to go into details. Maybe not so much decapitation, but what's left of the head is not nearly enough to stay alive. They are both gone, period. It is
Okay.
now down to the 6 of you. Your communication with the Tamatam is wrecked.
Is it possible that they know that that happened?
That is a great question that you might want to ask your comms tech person.
Yeah, Comsec Wescott.
And I think
Yeah,
Wescott
I
was
would
given
be
a task too.
tasked to deal with Gannon.
Yeah.
I mean, I would give the quick, hey, other 2, start getting our stuff ready to go. We do not want to be at the ship any longer than we have to. As I'm walking over to Gannon.
Again.
Yeah, and then
We have a
Gannon,
giant wreck indicating of where this person who shot us should come and continue to shoot us. We are not staying here.
Love
That's
how
a
you
really
phrase
good
that.
That's
Hey,
a
person
really
that
good point.
shot us down, we're right here. Keep shooting.
Yes, we are literally standing inside of the target that says, shoot me more, please. We're not staying here. If we were in a survival situation that was not combat related, actually staying would be better, minus explosion risk.
Yeah,
But because
yeah.
we're in a combat situation, we do not want to be here.
Gannon is seated, but he might as well be in the fetal position the way he's sitting. You know, he's got his knees all the way up to his chest, and he's just like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Like, he's clearly not cut out for this. He's going to need someone to come slap him up a little bit to get him wake up.
Oh yeah, I walk over. I see this.
Not literally, but...
Is there a convenient bottle of water for us just sitting around right here? I'm assuming we have some
Roll
variety of.
Roll observation.
Take one.
Roll observation. I'm not gonna make you use your own water rations, but maybe there's a water bottle randomly floating around. There is not, unless you want to push that.
I was going to be nice. I instead walk up and slap him.
Okay.
How stressed is he?
He is definitely a bit shook. I'm not gonna use actual stress rules or mechanics because they can get really messy at this point with the way he's acting. But
Okay.
he definitely, if somebody can just like, you slapped him. Go ahead and give me a command roll.
Yeah, I am trying to shock him out of his
Oh
shock.
yeah, absolutely. All right, that was one success, and I didn't show it to the viewers, but I'm sure they'll be okay. Yeah, you slap him, and you're like, "Hey, focus. We need to move."
Eyes on me.
Yeah, and he is.
You need
He
to get
looks up, and he looks at you, and he's like, "Huh? What?
Stand up.
Uh huh."
Get your gear.
He does. It's almost like robotic. because he's not there all. He's not there in his senses yet, but you've got it. You've broken the fog enough where he'll respond to simple commands.
I kept them simple.
Yeah, no, yeah. He stands up. He grabs his backpack. He grabs the PDAT off the. Well, he looks around for it. He spends a moment looking for it, but he finds it. He kind of just jeez, I hit my headset. Jumps it over his shoulder into the backpack, and he's like, all right, and just like, I think he assumes his next step is to walk out of the back of the dropship. And he does that. He just goes up. He pushes a little button. The door pops open, and he steps out.
I stag him.
you
Stand
stop
next
him?
to these two. Oh, he's not walking out there by himself. That's how he gets shot by, random miscellaneous wildlife.
That's
Not
how
that
That's how he
crazy.
trips and shoots himself in the face with his own
Yes.
pistol, like in World War Z.
Oh god, yeah.
So yeah, I tell him to stand next to Watson Warren.
Yep.
I'm assuming Winston. I look up. He's back down. Does the head nod? I'm assuming something like that.
Oh, as far as the flight crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's not happening today.
I'm
Okay.
picturing this transaction or interaction going, hey, medic, go check the flight crew. He checks the flight crew. He comes back. Wescott, hey, flight crew all right? He's like, no, that's not happening today.
Yeah, I just nod. I'm assuming the Cheyenne would have some form of transponder because it crashed.
Yeah, I imagine it's got all kinds of communication and navigation communication.
Can I have
That'll be
Can I
useless.
have Watts go rip it out and take it with us?
Have Watts make a heavy machinery roll and hope it doesn't take too long.
I'm seeing if it can be done in like sub 5 minutes,
All right, well, let's
maybe
see what
sub 10.
Let's see what this roll looks like first. Heavy machinery for Watts, please.
I'm opening up his sheets, skills, heavy machinery.
Yeah, he finds.
Hey, it landed on itself.
He finds the.
I don't even care about the black box. I specifically
Yeah.
want the
No, you want the
transponder.
transponder. Yeah, because you want to be able to send a
I want to be able
signal
to,
or
when I
whatever.
finally think they're coming back down to notice that we haven't fucking come back,
Yeah.
to have a button to push that's loud enough for them to hear us.
Something that says, "Hey, we're over here. Come get us. We're fucked."
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to take with us.
I think it takes Watts. It was Watts you sent, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, the 4 W's are. I'm trying to get them separated in my head. It's going to be a minute.
I send the Seaburn to go collect us a transponder, so we might have a chance of getting off of this place.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Because we're not
it
starting a
takes
forest fire in a rainforest.
it takes him a few minutes of rooting around under the nose outside the craft. But he does find.
So he would do it as we start moving towards the outside,
Yeah.
and we get our barrels off of what probably will soon become a flaming hunk of metal.
While he spends the time doing that,
Mhm.
once it's declared that nothing can be done for the pilot,
Yeah.
I'm going to take the tags from each of them, and I'm going to look over at Wescott, say, strip everything you need, kill the crypto, and then we're going to use one of the barrels on the dropship.
Okay. That's when I would send Watts out to go pull the transponder, so that and obviously stag a couple batteries to make the dang thing work, and then rip the guts out so it's not talking except when we want it to be. And I would sit there and start scrubbing the systems for whatever is left. Making sure everything is dead. I'm assuming this is the black box something that would be on the inside while the transponder is outside. But in any case,
that sounds roughly what it would be like. Yeah, I'm assuming the beacon,
black box and the beacon. I don't.
The beacon transmitter would be, I would imagine it would have to be near.
Yeah.
Either near the surface or near the front.
Too, because having the scanner data of what shot us down might be useful, but only if it's portable.
That would be in the sensors log. For lack of a better thing to put it.
Yeah, I would copy the sensors log and then start wiping everything.
So first I need. Give me. Okay, I was trying to figure something else out at the same time. Was there one thing that Wescott was doing, or was there two?
Collecting important information
Okay.
then starting the scrub process.
Okay. Give me comms tech for the. You're trying to grab the sensor data, correct? For the
I
Cheyenne.
consider important information is important information. If I can examine it on my tools later, that will be helpful to us in the future.
All right, so
But
you're basically
now.
gonna try to do a combat field expedient image grab of the flight computer, effectively.
I want to snag enough basic information that if we see the dang thing again, we can confirm it that it's the same thing.
You got 3 successes, so you grab effectively the sensor log. You basically make a copy of the flight log of the flight recorder.
For my 2 stunts.
Yeah.
I want it done fast.
Done.
And I do not want to overcome the exact same challenge in the future.
Okay, you have a free pass as a state. Set that aside. Make sure or take it out. What was now the second task was to what again?
Initiate the scrub down process. You know, the self wiping.
Okay. You don't get a chance to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. You hear in the distance, maybe 100 meters, the roaring whoosh of a rocket flying directly towards the Cheyenne. And
I run.
Yeah, everybody hears this, by the way, just for the record. Everybody hears
I should
this.
be the last person in the ship at this point. Everyone else should be outside.
I thought I put... Fuck. Give me a moment. I gotta equip these guys. My cat wants attention, too. That's not at all. What is the RPG thing?
Yeah, I should actually be the only one remaining on the ship because everybody else should be outside pulling the stuff away. Watch should be done getting the transponder, and somebody should be working on setting up the barrel to blow up the Cheyenne.
Yeah, if you want me to make a heavy machinery roll to rig a barrel to blow inside,
I feel like you're
Cheyenne.
not going to get a chance to do that. I'm trying to find... Nope, that's not the one I want. It's different. That's the one I want.
So yeah, pretty much there's probably a barrel sitting there in the Cheyenne with me as I'm pulling this information. As you guys are lugging the other 2 with us.
So you are in the process of setting up a barrel to destroy the Cheyenne. You are setting up or trying to do some copy and paste of the sensor log data. You end up completing that, but you're not able to dump any of the data that you're able to get your hands on. And you're also trying to get try to basically rip the transponder out, which I believe we did roll for that one though, right? We rolled for the transponder.
Watts was able to get the transponder out.
All right, yeah, my short-term memory is shit sometimes. Unfortunately,
I copied down the data.
Yeah, unfortunately, what happens is while you're trying to do the rest of that, this rocket-propelled grenade whooshes in from the tree line, and it strikes the main body of the Cheyenne and explodes. And it does do some damage. I'm not going to make anybody roll for to be hit or anything. It does hit the Cheyenne on the other hand. And then we have...
Does it detonate the QTC?
It does not. And I have a very specific condition for that in order to prevent that. However, I don't think I actually have a map to put up. So we're going to have to do combat slightly different here.
So Warren is going to pick up Overwatch on the direction of the rocket.
Give me 1 second. I gotta do a little bit of shenanigans here. I'm putting some tokens on the map only because I gotta add them into the combat scenario. Is it? Maybe. Okay. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I should just be able to click and drag all these guys. Nope, that's not what I wanted to happen. God damn it. All right. I am still new to this Foundry, so bear with me, friends, as I figure this out. In creating this encounter, don't I just, like, right-click and add? Or, oh, it's the battle button, the swords, right? Toggle combat state.
Adds people to the initiative.
Yep. All right, so we have that. And then if I click on roll all, that starts it because it rolls initiative, right?
Yep.
Okay. Your targets are approximately, I'm just going to say 2 zones. We're going to have to theater the mind because I don't have a battle map for this. Your targets are roughly 100 meters away, so I'm going to call that 2 zones. Or, no, we'll call that 1 zone, right? Does that make sense? I know zones and specific distance don't quite correlate, but
So you're saying that no matter where we are, we can basically just step up and be touching somebody?
okay, 2 zones.
So long range or medium range?
2 zones is medium range.
Yeah, I was going to say, that should be medium range. Warren is up first. Warren is at the front of the drop ship, finishing up, grabbing the transponder, and throwing it into his bag.
Watts is the one grabbing the transponder.
I stand corrected.
Warren was standing out and on
Pulling sentry or
Overwatch.
something?
Yeah, from the
Oh, that's
rocket direction.
sounds perfect. So it sounds like he gets a chance to shoot at one of these guys. I need to... I'll figure it out. Go ahead.
All right, so I guess I'm shooting.
Well, this rocket just whooshed in. If you need Pike to yell at you, by all means.
I don't think I need any authorization after a rocket was shot at us, do I? As I say, screaming bullets at them.
God, I want to be a smartass. I'm trying not to because I don't want to be rude to you who may not understand how combat works. Generically, Marines would have a general sense of, motherfucker shot at me, I'm definitely shooting back, no questions asked.
Yeah, so range combat.
Yeah, that's part of our standing orders.
Yeah.
In this particular theater, we are allowed to shoot back.
And if for
people
any
who are shooting at
reason,
us.
Pike as the leader or Wescott as a leader is like, no, don't do that, then they can adjust. But you have literally been shot at, and most rules of engagement are allowing you to return fire without much question.
I do have watchful.
I mean, you know where they are, right?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter.
It's an RPG. I'm not going to make you roll to
So-
figure that one out. You can shoot at least
Yeah.
in the general
And you
direction
just-
and maybe hit someone.
If you click on the name of the gun, it'll do your damage calculation and stuff for you.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Well, before we
So-
resolve the damage, you're going to have to roll panic for Warren.
Panic. 6.
You are now at panic level 8, and you have started to tremble. All skill rolls using agility suffer a -2 modification until the panic stops. If I'm not mistaken, that negates the fact that you hit.
No.
No?
If the panic, so with regular skill rolls, it only cancels the success if the panic condition is not compatible with it. So like if you got freeze, then he
Okay.
wouldn't shoot because he's locked into freezing instead of his other action.
Okay.
So he gets to shoot.
Okay.
And the face hugger means that he ammo dumps. He dumps his whole magazine.
That
into
does
this.
sound more accurate than what I was just
It sounds
thinking.
unpleasant in a place when we only have 2 reloads.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, that's cool. It automatically put panicked as his stress condition. Awesome.
So he
Okay.
does have the 3 successes still.
All right, what is the
3
damage
successes.
on the M41A pulse rifle? I don't recall off the top of my head.
It's a base damage of 2. So the first success is 2 damage.
And then he had
And
2
You
additional
get 2
successes?
additional.
So
You
that's
can spend
4?
them on stunts, or you can add to damage.
I want to add on damage.
That sounds like 4 damage total. That is going to drop the RPG shooter.
Well, that sounds less ideal, but okay.
Well, the guy shooting RPGs,
It's probably important to take them down.
well, what you hear is, so this is what happens. The RPG round comes in, slams into the side of the Cheyenne. It explodes loudly. Everybody's like, oh shit. You, Warren, you get a good bead on where that rocket came from, and you immediately return fire, but as soon as you start shooting, you get the trembles. You're like, oh shit, this shit is fucking real. Oh my fucking god. And you hear, as you dump a full mag into the woods, in relatively controlled, but not really controlled bursts, you hear somebody scream. as though they have been plugged full of several bullets, and you hear over the din of your gunfire and the screaming stops,
Nice.
as if the last bullet may have punctured something that prevents screaming, like the brain or the windpipe.
Oh, seemed like it worked out pretty good.
I
Moving
mean,
on.
yeah, at the
Mhm.
cost of some stress, and that did take out one of the shooters on the board. So that is Warren. Oh, I forgot to click begin count. One of the shooters is now going to shoot back. So let me grab this character sheet. Not specifically shooting at Warren, but you will return. You do see a number of rounds come back in the general direction of Warren, but they don't actually hit anything. Oh, you know what I should have done was rolled it off of his weapon. Whoops. Whatever.
Yeah, I should have done that too, but I did.
It's fine. I
Yeah.
think he would have gotten.
I mean, it wouldn't have changed whether he hit or miss.
Yeah, because I
I
don't
don't
think
think-
I don't think this particular weapon gives him a modifier. So, yeah. Okay. That now takes it to Corporal Wescott. You have two shooters that are actively, well, for all intents and purposes, because combat is supposed to be all at once. You do have some people in the wood line shooting at you, roughly 100 or 2 zones away.
So, am I still in the Cheyenne?
I believe yes, you are actually. You are still
That
inside the
puts me
Cheyenne.
3 zones away because
It
the
does.
interior of the Cheyenne should be its own zone.
Correct. It is. Yes, that's a fair point. The interior of the
Um,
Cheyenne is a third zone, and you do not have line of sight presently, but you do hear the rocket slamming into the side of the ship. I almost said boat. You hear the rocket slamming into the side, and you hear.
I turn around and look back at the barrel of fuck me. I look back and I'm like, bam, wipe button.
And you also hear the distinctive sound of an M41A pulse rifle going off, and then you hear ting 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 as several rounds impact, several small arms round impact on the side of the ship.
Yeah, I definitely kick off the wipe the ship's information systems button.
Okay,
Or
go ahead and give me
subroutine.
go ahead and give me your comms tech. I am going to ask for a -2 because of the stressful situation. Not stress and panics, but just
I'm
because
under
this is
fire.
yeah, you're under fire, so I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a added pressure there.
Okay, comedy base modifier -2. Roll.
Oh,
Ooh.
yep. There's a panic roll for you now.
So
But you have you only have one point of stress right now, correct? Or do you have more?
I have 1 point of stress, the one that you give everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're fine. Should be fine. 1d6
Okay, so-
plus 1 for you. But yeah, you just roll stress. You're good. And you got
Cool.
several successes on dumping, basically doing a immediate fast dump of all data on the computer and turning it into a powered brick.
I take option number 2. I do not need to overcome the exact same challenge in the future.
So if ever you need to dump another computer under fire, you're good.
I am.
Good.
And if I say take a +1 to a later roll, is that just a +1 to any old Comtech roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Needs to
It
be
says related to
somewhat
this one.
related,
Yeah, it needs to be somewhat similar to the scenario, though. It wouldn't necessarily be any Comtech roll, but anything like if you're
If
trying
I
to get
do
into.
it fast, do I have the option of doing something else too?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Kane. Slow and fast. This would probably count as a slow, but if she used it, this would give her something akin to 2 fast actions, if that makes sense.
I mean, making a skill check is normally a slow action, unless you decide it takes longer than that to complete it.
I will give you a +1 on your next comms tech roll related to finding information or deleting it, because I feel like those. Because in order to delete information, like you can always delete everything, but if you're looking for a specific thing to delete, i.e., in this case, maybe the flight logs or the comms. ComSec. You can. Jesus Christ! I'm sorry, my brain tried to shut down for a second there. Somebody rolled a comms tech roll on my brain. Thank you, jerks. +1 on a similar comms tech roll in the future. Let's go with that.
Okay.
For simplicity of trying not to break the rules right away. Because I
Yeah,
already
okay.
want to.
So yeah, I am staying within the zone, but then I guess I just do over next to the drum and get ready to start lighting that up.
And you're attempting to carry it off the dropship on your next turn? Is that
No.
or are you trying to?
I'm literally just moving next to it, so
Okay.
I can next turn prep a fuse to light it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, all right. Yeah, obviously your breach charges, which are actually on Pike right now, would be perfect for setting that up. I digress.
Yeah,
It is
I know,
Pike's turn.
Pike's been doing this his whole life. He raises his scoped rifle, takes a knee so he can aim action, and he's going to shoot the shooter.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna put these two, like, you see where these are, but what I want to do too is we'll just identify them as left and right. Right, you guys can see those two, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So just left and right, just so you can distinguish which one. Ooh. Okay, well, give me that panic roll. Let's see what happens. All right. And so old boy takes at least some damage.
He's gonna take 3 armor piercing damage.
3 armor piercing. I don't have armor on these guys. So he is going to take all of that damage. He has no way to mitigate it. So you do see an individual just inside the tree line. It looks like he's trying to use a bush as concealment and not as cover, because that's how bushes work. And he takes a number of bullets and drops. There is definitely a scream, not unlike a certain Wilhelm, but it is a scream nonetheless. And then he does not appear to be debilitated, but he is definitely angry.
Okay.
As he screams in pain and anger. Why?
So the scream continues; it doesn't end.
Correct. Yes. That's what. How do we tell if the enemy's alive? They will still be screaming. Watts.
I mean, is Watts standing outside next to our civilian?
That's where you put him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Watts is the one that went to go get the transponder, so he's up at the front of the ship.
Yeah.
And these guys
Is he
are
in line of
attacking.
sight of those guys?
I'll say this: they're attacking broadside because their intent is to hit the dropship, and they know that you guys are going to come out of the back of it, and that's probably not a good place to be. People at the front of the ship, which is probably dug into the dirt a little bit. I feel like they are. I'll put it this way: they are in line of sight, but they're probably not necessarily priority at the moment.
Cool.
Mostly
Watts
because
grabs his
Go ahead.
human meat, his excuse me, not human meat shield.
The
His
VIP? Is that what I
his,
heard?
his VIP and his block of information that his block of equipment that he was told to retrieve, and he drags them both into cover, and that is his turn.
Okay. I'm not gonna make a mobility roll for that. I feel like
He literally grabs the hunk of equipment he was digging out, grabs the dude by his backpack, and drags them the entire thing to the cover.
yeah, and he's got the transponder. He's already shoved it into his backpack just as the hit. That means the guy on the right is now shooting. He is going to fire vaguely in the direction of Warren. Ping, 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 ping. No hit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, you guys can't see my rolls because I have them. I'm doing that on purpose, by the way. But yeah.
Where would Winston be? He's not in the ship anymore, is he?
Where would Winston be so you went to go check the flight crew? They were all dead.
And I walked out, probably.
Yeah.
He might have been up towards the front, just keeping an eye on NPC boy.
Yeah.
Well, it's been like you've been on the ground for, at this point, I think it's arguable that you guys would have been on the ground for like 10 or 15
you might
minutes
have
at
been
least.
backing up your buddy then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be the more more appropriate place because you guys were getting ready to pull the barrel off and pull the barrels off and setting one of them up to blow up the Cheyenne. So Warren and Winston and Pike were probably out on the ground, especially with Watts grabbing the transponder thing.
Okay. So let's see here. Did I get a trace on the left guy? I believe was the one who got hit a couple
You've got a
times?
pretty good idea at this point. They both have fired at you guys, so you've got a
Yeah.
pretty good idea of where they're at. They're not taking
Okay,
pot shots. They're firing like 3 to 5 round bursts. Not
Okay, so
necessarily
I'm gonna-
like bursts,
I'm
but
gonna-
like bang, 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 bang. That is a burst. Never mind.
Okay, so I'm rereading this because I have to. But taking an aim action is to take a knee, right? Does that
Yeah,
offer any cover?
You give up your fast action to get +2 dice on your next attack. You
Okay.
don't get. You're not taking cover or anything like that. You're just
No.
steadying.
Okay, I'll steady and do an aim.
Okay. Go ahead and give you, just right click on the little edit button looking thing and give yourself a +2.
Or you just right.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. Right click on the skill itself, or the weapon itself, I should say.
Right click on the weapon, and then +2
Correct.
For the base modifier. Yeah.
to the base modifier. Oh,
Is a success. You can push if you like.
where are stress related? You know what? Yeah, sure.
Well, a success on yellow is still a success. The
Yeah.
idea being that stress can make you do better, as well as make you go, oh shit.
2 more successes.
Okay, so that is a total of 3. That's 2 points of damage. What are you doing with the other 2 successes? Are you adding to damage? Are you trying to disarm him? Knock him back? I don't remember. I feel like there's one more, but I can't remember it.
I want to pin down my enemy for one of them.
Okay.
They'll need to make an immediate panic roll.
All right, so you're shooting at the one on the left, you said?
Yeah.
Was he the one that Pike shot at, or was Pike shooting at the one on
I
the
believe
right?
so.
Yeah, I think it's the one that I wounded.
Okay. If you're shooting the one that Pike shot, he's dead.
Okay.
Or you can change the other target. I'm going to allow you to make that arbitrary choice.
No, I might as well finish off the person and then
Okay.
move on to the next target.
All right, he's out. He's gone. Warren, there is a single shooter.
And I'm out
let
of
me
ammo.
double check my. Oh, Warren. Warren would need to reload. He had that panic dump.
So I need to go on -1 to my reloads?
I believe
Yeah.
yes.
And it uses your slow action to reload. So he's not going to be shooting this turn.
No, but he is going to pump his legs towards some sort of semblance of cover.
He could probably either dip back inside the Cheyenne without mobility, or he can run around to the opposite side of the Cheyenne or something like that. But I think
Well, I
that
mean,
would
we
require
landed in
mobility.
heavily forested area, so I mean, hiding behind a
Okay,
tree is
yeah,
probably
you could
not...
definitely find a tree or stump or something nearby.
There's only one target, so getting
Yeah.
no line of sight on that is probably pretty easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
As it is a new turn. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Disregard that. So Warren is going to break line of sight and reload, and that is effectively his action, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That will take it up to Wescott, who is still inside the hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm getting a text that may or may not involve something happening in the family. Give me just a second here.
I think this is going well.
So far. Wait until you get
We've had a fantastic start to running out of ammo every time we use a gun.
Okay.
Warren, yeah.
I'm glad I got us reloads.
Yeah.
All right. Warren is broken contact and is spending the rest of his turn reloading. It is now Wescott's turn. Wescott is currently in. I'm assuming like towards the rearmost part of the drop ship.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely in the back now. I'm no longer on the flight deck.
Okay.
Is there like a fuse or lighted setup on this thing, or is that why we were given those charges?
I'm going to go with that's why you were giving the breaching charge because
Cool.
it's
I know better
basically
than to
literally a
continue
barrel.
trying to.
Yeah, it was literally just
I'm
a
not going to
barrel.
mess
I'm
with
sorry.
it then. I'm going to peek my head out the end of the drop ship
Uh-huh.
and take pot shots if I see a bad guy.
I think
But
it's
because I wasn't out there, I don't know where they are. So if I can see them, I'll shoot at them. Otherwise, I'm going to use the tail end of the Cheyenne as cover while peeking my head out to look around.
yeah, we can say that you're changing zones and
Yeah, I mean, basically I'm just using the
Yeah.
end of it as cover now in the outside zone.
yeah. So on your next turn, you'll be able to engage with the
Yeah,
enemy.
I'm assuming I have to look around and see him because I wasn't in line of sight before
Correct.
before
Yeah.
actions.
Yeah,
So
I'm not gonna make you roll observation. I'm just gonna you'll spend your turn.
we'll just
moving
hand wave it. I'll see it
Yeah.
as soon as stuff goes around.
Yeah, and also by that point, since Pike is shooting next, I'm sure it's gonna be obvious to figure out where he is.
Yeah.
Pike, it is your turn. What would you like to do, sir?
Well, I drop the rifle on its sling. I use my fast action to move one zone.
Uh-huh.
I use my slow action as a fast action to draw my knife and move the other zone. So now I'm standing directly in front of the guy with a knife.
God, is there like a
Nice sniper.
Oh God, I'm trying to think what would be. Hang on, let me figure this out for a second. So basically, you have closed to knife distance with this guy.
Yeah, I'm screaming as I sprint.
Oh
at
yeah,
the guy
absolutely.
With the knife.
Yeah, you're definitely giving him like the I almost said Vulcan. You're giving him the Viking war cry or something. You know what?
The space marine equivalent of Semper Fi as he runs.
Yeah, I imagine. Sorry. There's discussion about my not stepdaughter anymore, but she's like super pregnant, so I'm getting text messages about that.
Super pregnant?
Yeah, she's like due this month.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that's all your actions. You're not actually able to attack. You've just closed to like super close range.
But he is also now engaged, so he has the penalties for being engaged with somebody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not this guy's turn, but I'm going to make a quick roll here that you can't see. Well, he does keep his wits about him. Pike, what you see is this Asian-looking man, probably in his mid to late 20s, armed with a Three Worlds Empire assault rifle from like not current, but like the last generation, so like 10 or 15 years old. When you close with him, he has this weapon in his hand. He looks like he was getting ready to take a shot, and then all of a sudden you're right there in his shit, and he just looks up at you, and he's like, drops the rifle. He may or may not have even taken a moment to put it on safe, but he literally drops the rifle, raises his hand, and he's like, shit. But it's not in English. It's in an Asian language.
Okay.
That has ended the combat. Unless, of course, you want to knife him on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, he's holding his hands up. He's defenseless to me. I kill him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely... Oh, you're going to... Oh, shit, my bad. You are going to knife him to death right there on the spot. Yes?
Yeah, I mean, he puts his hands up. He's defenseless to me.
Oh, yeah.
I just, like, stab him in the throat and call it a day.
Oh, yeah, he's dead. He gurgles out. It takes him a moment, but he's dead. I'll just leave it at that.
I will reduce my stress by 1.
Because you have that fucking merciless trait, isn't it? Is that what it is?
I have murderer as a trait. I do want to check the other 2 people and make sure that they're dead, not wounded.
They are absolutely dead.
Tactically, that is the smart choice because we are now in enemy territory. Mm-hmm. And living enemies talk.
They do.
Yeah,
also, we steal their shit.
Yeah, any
just
food,
to be clear.
Water. Were they all using the same weapons? Or was it sort of
a
motley pile of stuff?
So there was 3 people. 2 of them had the... Oh, God. I actually have to open it back up now. The F90 3WE automatic assault rifle. So there's 2 of those, and an RPG 122 with 5 rockets. They also have ropes and climbing equipment, flashlights, and a multi-tool each.
I will take the ropes. I will take the RPG and the ammunition for it.
Okay.
I'll take the ammo that they have for their 3 World Empire rifles, and I'll take the rifles and I'll walk to one place and put them on the ground and kick a bunch of shit on top of them, and I'll walk somewhere else and scatter the magazines around.
Okay. So you're not going to keep their ammo? You're just going to separate?
I'm not going to keep that. I mean, keeping all those extra guns and ammunition, I want to make it an ass pain for the enemy, but that's a lot of stuff for us to carry.
Okay. But you are keeping the
Take the-
RPG and the ropes?
I mean, you want to just toss it in the Cheyenne that we're about to light up on fire?
Good point. We'll just toss it in there. Sure.
All right.
I mean, I vote for tossing their bodies in there too.
He's,
Not to be
almost,
mean.
this almost got dark, but yeah, I mean, if
Not
that's
to
what you
be
want to do.
mean, but for tactically, it's the best option for something to disappear versus them finding it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
argue
in
that
agreement
logic.
with that. And that's the medic saying that.
I'm going to need
Anyways,
an empathy roll from the medic at least.
Somebody's going to wonder where this patrol went, and this is a pretty obvious thing to go look for.
yeah.
I mean, how much
I wanted-
say do I have? Because I already have my tactical shovel ready to dig a grave.
Okay.
But
So,
I don't.
Real
but
quick,
I-
hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's get Winston as the medic, who, if anybody here has ever taken anything close to a Hippocratic oath, it would be Winston. I need an
Yep.
empathy roll. If you fail, you will not suffer any sort of issue with encouraging the destruction of human bodies in a relatively inhumane way.
I mean, it's immolation, possibly cremation, you know.
It's arguable. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well,
see,
never
I'm
mind.
there
It
for
doesn't. It's
shovel.
immaterial. No, somewhere along your cold-blooded way, as a medic, you're totally fine with using the fiery remains of a Cheyenne as the funeral pyre.
We're Marines first, thank you very much.
This is true. You are. But if anybody would have had an empathy on this one, it should have been the medic, who apparently is just as cold-blooded as Pike.
Look, did I tell you that Warren used to be basically an enforcer for the mob?
I do recall you
Watts
saying,
used to be an enforcer for the mob.
yeah, one of them was, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, my criminal NPC buddy don't give no fucks
Yeah,
either.
he's like, yeah, no, absolutely, burn the bodies.
I'm like, it's tactical. He's like, I want to murder these guys because they're from this other group. The only person who might have an issue is actually Warren, the little rifleman who almost like cacked himself because he was panicked.
Watts is probably sitting
So
there.
Warren is
Go
going to
ahead.
stay silent, but Winston is going to say 1 second, please. And then he's going to check them for dog tags or something.
They don't have any dog tags.
Then he's okay with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna pat them down for any papers they might have. If I do find anything, I'm just gonna hand that shit to Wescott.
The other thing you find is one of them had a picture of a small child. Looks like a girl.
Oh.
Okay, then I'm not gonna hand that off. And I look over at Wescott and I say, I appreciate your suggestion, but I want to disincentivize their friends following us.
Also, it might encourage the animals to center over here if you're going to go that route.
Yeah. And I'm gonna hang the bodies up.
All right. Well, instead
Oh.
of picking up 3 sets of ropes and climbing gear, you now have 2. As
Yeah.
you use the pieces of one kit to hang up the 3 bodies. I am almost hesitant to ask, but just to paint the picture, how exactly, like, are you hanging them up by their toes, by their neck, by their hands?
I mean, I would do things predator style, hang them up by their ankles.
Okay, so their bodies are all upside down as they are clearly
And I'll
dead.
stick and we're not gonna get overly graphic, but I'll take the picture of that guy's kid or whatever and I'll stuff it in his mouth and we'll leave.
Wow.
Well then.
Suddenly this became a PsyOps unit.
I mean,
You know what I
Alright.
rolled for my second event.
Oh, yeah.
Pike's a bitter
does my-
motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Does my Winston character have any ideas or thoughts about this, or does he still remain cold-blooded?
That's up to you, but I do want anybody to make an observation roll. It doesn't matter who. Somebody to make the observation roll.
really good at
Winston
that.
is Warren is watchful.
And I don't
I
think we're looking
mean-
for danger.
Probably Watts then, because once we I'll have him roll it. Are you fracking kidding me?
All right, Watts,
Hey,
go
I mean,
ahead and make that panic roll. I hope you guys are keeping track of who has rolled panic, because I have not. I probably should have.
Everybody's rolled panic at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you keep it together.
Oh yeah, that's right. He has nerves of steel.
I mean, even on one stress, you can't fail it yet anyway. So
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So
He's also hot-headed.
that checks. All right. So as you guys are going through this entire process, I imagine one or two of you are busy setting up one of the drums to destroy the Cheyenne and whatever equipment you want to throw in there. Somebody else, along with Pike, are stringing up the bodies as a disincentivization to
feel like
follow
the
them.
enforcer is probably the one who's most keen to help
Probably.
get
He's
this
probably a
over
little
with.
bit. In fact, I feel
Watts
like he's
is
probably a bit
assisting
jealous.
you with this.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably a bit jealous that you got the idea to go in for the knife kill before he did.
Watts also walks around with fire grenades instead of a flamethrower, so
Fair. But one thing that Watts does notice, and he brings this up once he makes the realization, is that, hey, if these guys are UPP, they have exactly 0 uniform or other gear identifying them as such. Is that a problem?
I don't think they're UPP.
Okay. Squatters?
I think they're squatters.
Probably didn't want us to get too close to their squat hole. Makes sense.
Maybe
That'd be kind of
if we walk on it. I mean, if they shoot at us, it's their fucking funeral. Otherwise, I couldn't care less about the squatters.
I think Watts is like one of those guys that would just like spit on the ground at that idea and be like, bad. You shoot at me, you fucking die. Yeah. So we're gonna set up one of the barrels and then we're gonna carry out the other 2.
Yep.
I want to point out also before we do anything else that Gannon, throughout this firefight, has followed whoever his tender was. Who was it? Was it Watts? Or was it the other guy?
Yeah, it was Watts.
It was Watts, yeah. So he once
He was
Watts went off to
witnessing.
help with the bodies, Gannon is like, nope, nowhere near that shit. So he's kind of milling around the dropship, not really sure what to do. He's had the we lost somebody, and now my screen looks really weird. We lost Redance.
We lost Renance.
Let's give her a moment before she see if she makes it back or not. I don't know what to talk about now.
Well, may or may not be. You could also imply that Dunkin' Donuts has something to do with this.
That's a little weird, oddly specific reference, but please elaborate.
Yeah. Well, you said that the UPP might have something to do with this, may or may not have something to do with this. You could equally say that Dunkin' Donuts has something to do with this.
I mean, it could be. If there's a joke in here, I'm definitely missing it.
I'm just imagining now that we accidentally stumble across the squatter camp and they have just like a set of banners at the opening to their little village and they're just big Dunkin' Donuts banners.
I just wanted
That
Renance to
was
come into
so
someone
weird.
random.
Ro,
we
Ro,
just,
are
like-
you good?
We walk
Yeah,
up
my
to the
internet
village.
just hiccuped, but everything just reconnected. That was
Oh,
so odd.
We
That's
walk
good.
up to the village entrance. Someone comes out with a rocket and says, "Can I take your order?"
God.
Don't forget to add the RPG to my inventory
Oh shit! I do need to do
because you
that.
never know when we might want an RPG.
Okay,
This is
so
Yeah, once the bodies are up, I'll go like put a hand on Gannon's shoulder.
Give me a second. I'm trying to give you that RPG.
Okay.
And then there was something else I wanted to do too. Nope. Work character sheet. Open. Then over to items.
I don't
Oh,
remember how heavy this is.
I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I am highly entertained by the combat maneuvers reference.
Oh, yeah.
And the comment of, remember, becoming a casualty does not save a casualty. Yes. So true. So true.
Okay.
All right. I'm getting close to my encumbrance limit.
Yeah,
but
you
I'm
are.
still under.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys are going through all this, Watts points out, hey, I don't think these guys are UPP, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Gannon who was initially following Watts really close until Watts went to help Pike with the bodies, and then he's like, nope, just hanging around the back of the Cheyenne.
Yeah, I would probably take management of Ganon back from Watts while they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I can't get back into the Foundry because it says my account's still in use. It's grayed out like somebody's using it, so I think you might need to kick me.
Just give it a minute or two.
Okay.
It hasn't checked to see that you've left yet.
Can I right click on her name and then just kick her? And will that do it, or will that actually cause? Because I see there's kick and then there's ban.
You could try to kick her.
I mean, it's not like my sheets are going to disappear because they're in there.
No,
So,
no.
worst comes to worst,
Try
you'll have to
logging
reset
in
up an
now.
account.
Try logging in now. You should be fine. Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a moment to figure out what you want to do next. You have the one barrel on the back of the Cheyenne. You have the other two. I imagine you've at least pulled away from the Cheyenne a few feet, if nothing else. You have the breach charges.
Watts is the one that rolled observation, right?
Yes.
The one that realized they're not UPP, correct?
Yep. Okay. And Watts and Wescott. All right.
Ro, are you able to get back in?
No, not yet. I'll give him another couple minutes.
Right.
So I'll point to Wescott and Watts.
Mhm.
Watts, you have point. Wescott, you have rear.
Mhm.
Winston, Warren, you've got one barrel. Gannon, you're with me.
Ooh.
Okay, so who are carrying the barrels? Watts and Warren are carrying one.
And I'm carrying one with Gannon.
Oh, lovely. I think Gannon actually says that. And he's just like, but I got to carry the PDAT, and he's...
It was Winston and Warren that was carrying one. Watts is on point.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Watts and I are holding up tail and end.
Let me get
and Watts is pretty observant. So.
Let me get a heavy machinery roll for somebody to make this thing go boom. It doesn't matter
heavy
who.
machinery or...
Is there another skill that might be more appropriate?
There is a sub-talent for comms tech that lets you use remote, let you remote control things better, which makes me think that that's part of the skill, but I'm not sure. And I can't see my character sheet to double check.
I mean, remote is for like flying a dropship using a joystick from outside of it.
Okay. I was curious about that.
I mean, I can roll heavy machinery. The Seaburn can probably roll heavy machinery.
Yeah.
Anybody. I'm not particular.
I would have the Seaburn do it because he is skilled in explosives. I just can't get in there to do it myself. So.
Which one is that? Which...
Watts.
All right, I'll have Watts roll.
Yeah, he's on
I got
points,
it.
yeah, so.
Heavy machinery.
He's also not carrying a barrel, so it makes sense for him to get in there. Have you guys all walk away some, get in there, set everything up, and then jog back up to you guys.
Strangely enough, I'm not capable of making that roll.
How many dice does he should have 4 strength and 4 heavy machinery, so it should be like a base 8.
Let's see. Watts has
or a base 7 or something like that.
3 and it's 7. I'll just roll 7 real quick.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not even gonna roll it. I'm just gonna GM it.
Watts rolled.
Yeah. And because I just realized I could roll it, and then I'm like, you guys can't see the roll unless I change it, and I'm like, because then I'd have to change it back. So I'm just like, fucking Cheyenne explodes, pieces go fucking everywhere, as one would expect when a 50-gallon barrel of this highly explosive volatile liquid goes kaboom.
If you refresh the page, you should be able to log in now.
Okay.
The hostile nature of this jungle moon complicates things. Burning hot gas giant fills most of the sky during the day. The human atmosphere is dense and supports rich growths of swamps and tropical forests under a thick jungle canopy that blocks something like 95% of the sunlight, leaving the understory in perpetual gloom. This is what you realize as you finally get out of the fight or flight. Oh my God, they're shooting at us. Oh my God, we just crashed. You actually have a moment to put your brains into something other than react mode. The trees are I mean, just picture any Vietnam War movie. That's what you're looking at. Big, round, thick, sturdy trees. In some cases, there's small, skinny trees, but for the majority, it's these gigantic trees that just reach up into the sky, 40 meters up, or in non-British terms, about 120 feet plus up into the sky. Various levels of canopy, big frondy leaves hanging out, vines everywhere. The sounds of animals eventually return after the firefight and big explosion of the Cheyenne being blown up. Uh, in consulting with Gannon, as you move away from the dropship, as you struggle with these two gigantic barrels of this extremely volatile fluid, you get a figure of about 6 hours is how long it's going to take you to trudge your way through this jungle, this rough terrain, to get to the UAS Glory. Before we get moving any further, I want water and food consumption rolls. Except we don't have Rodan's back yet.
It doesn't like me today.
Okay. Well, I can look at your character sheets and make a quick roll. So Wescott has, I think everybody has about the same number though. 4, I
Yeah,
think.
we all start with it.
Okay. And then Kane, if you could just refresh my memory, 4 dice in this case. On
So
success,
all you have to do, because everything is automated,
yeah,
is you click the little parachute next to the number of food and water, and it does the roll, and it'll adjust it based on the roll for you. Don't have to remember
no,
any of it.
that's absolutely right. I forgot about that because I tested that when I prepped and forgot. Except in my case, I can't roll Rodance's characters.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I'm so unlucky today. Oh my god!
I'm not seeing rolls. What? Oh, let me refresh my page real quick.
On 4d6s, I rolled 3 1s.
Does that mean you eat 3 rations?
Well, I'm a big boy, and I just ran. I don't know. I'm just idly snacking.
All right, so Pike loses some food and water. Winston loses some water. I need the other
I can get
W.
in now.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, and then
I have more than one browser installed on my laptop, so I just went and tried a different browser, and then it worked.
Warren loses some food. Warren loses a little bit of water. No, wait, no.
No, he's good.
Warren,
it's just face ups.
Yeah.
Okay,
then once,
so little parachute you said next to food and water, 1 each.
Yep, click it once for each one, and then it will automatically adjust as needed. Oof. And you're good for that one.
Okay, other character sheet. Watts.
You're good. All right, so we have done that. Oh, well, I forgot that part.
I had to roll his water too.
Yeah, no worries. Looking at the time and looking at our progress so far, I feel like this is probably a good spot to stop. Our next session will cover the actual trek through the jungle as you make your way, hopefully, closer to the glory.
And the hole therein?
No, I specifically and very pointedly have been avoiding the word hole whenever referencing the glory. Let's do experience points. So, we had a lot going on tonight. So let's see what we've got. Did you participate in this game session? Clearly. 1 point for each character. Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda?
I would like to argue yes for me.
Because you closed to knife distance?
No, because I had an opportunity to interrogate somebody and I just killed them instead and denied us all that opportunity.
Okay, I'll take that. Anybody else?
I don't think Warren has any grand goals.
Okay. Other than probably survive.
Yeah.
Did anybody risk their lives for their buddies? Which I think by this point, Warren is definitely somebody's rival. The question is whose? I'm thinking Pike's, especially after the no pants issue.
He's not going to forget his fucking pants now. I'll tell you that.
No, but I
So
feel
what does
like
that
I tell
give
you what.
us?
This is actually who controls Warren. It was Warren,
Me?
right? It was Warren. Yeah, I want you to make a note that Warren now has a, well, technical in mechanic terms, he has now a rivalry with Pike. Whether or not Pike has that rivalry in return is up to Pike. Warren now.
I have it listed as Watts is buddy with Warren because
Okay.
they feel like the low ends of the totem pole.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I don't think Watts or Warren did anything for the other in this particular case. So the
Not
risking your life.
directly.
Yeah, I mean, other than like they shot, but that was like standard Marine actions. It wasn't like
Yeah.
they dove on a grenade for their buddy or anything like that.
I did,
go ahead.
knowing that. So Wescott is my buddy,
Yes.
and knowing that Wescott was inside a metal coffin with a barrel of high explosives.
Not just one, my friend, but three.
Yeah. So I charged the guy with the knife so he wouldn't be shooting at the ship anymore.
I will give you that. You definitely
Ooh.
risked your life for that. And had you not made it into an engaged range, and had I not made a wits roll, that could have ended a different way. So,
You could have just
I'll
eaten
give you
automatic fire at point blank range.
Yeah, you could have. Did anybody challenge or stand up to rivals? Warren definitely did not. That's
Nope.
the only rivalry that I have clearly identified at this moment, though.
Pike does not have a rival.
Like everybody needs one. I need you guys to start working out these rivalries.
I think I would probably end up with Pike after today.
That scans. Yeah, I feel like Pike and
Wescott.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Pike and Wescott, if no other reason than because they're NCOs and leaders, working so close, you guys are definitely going to have some form of informal relationship. That sounded a little weird, and I don't mean it like that, but like outside of the fact you're both in charge of people, that there might be a certain buddy thing going for a little while there.
I have a question.
Go for
Can Warren and Winston both have Pike as their rival, considering Winston is the medic and Pike is
A murderer?
raving lunatic?
That sounds great. And you know what? That makes perfect sense because other than the fact that Winston had that moment of like, just fucking burn their bodies or whatever it was exactly, he's like, this motherfucker charged a dude and then slashed his throat.
After you surrendered.
No, well, maybe he didn't see the surrender from the distance, but definitely like, why did you just rush the knife range? You could have just shot him from where you were.
Not only that, but like also hung up the bodies.
War crime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That too. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's
War
beautiful.
crimes.
I saw you do it.
Geneva Convention only counts on Earth.
I'm
We're not
pretty
a signatory of it anyways.
Pretty sure that's not how that works, but I digress. Okay.
Yeah,
What-
please.
But
More
we're not,
rivalries. Let's
what?
do
We're
it.
not
No,
allowed to
I-
use the rainbow
I
hand
love
gesture.
that. I'm picturing SpongeBob. Somebody needs to make that meme now. SpongeBob. War crimes. Okay. Any other buddy rival stuff? Or shall we move on to the next
Nobody for Winston.
one? Okay. I thought. Oh, Winston. Gotcha. Okay. Winston is going to be buddies with Gannon. No, I'm kidding. Don't listen to that. Did you
You're the only
challenge?
sane
I'm
one
sorry.
here.
What's that?
You're the only one sane here. Wait, again.
Which is sad because he is clearly the rich, pompous corporal guy.
Yeah.
Who puked on
All right,
everything.
so moving on.
Anybody that made a panic roll can now add 1 point of experience. I think everybody made one? Question mark.
I think almost everybody, at least.
I feel like
Yep.
one
Yeah,
of the
oh, I
buddies
know-
didn't. I could be wrong.
I know Warren is panicked at +8.
Yes.
Watts made one too.
Okay. Well, in that case, I was wrong. Watts and Warren both. So go ahead and update your sheets for that. Did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means? I'm going to say yes. Somewhere between the crash and the firefight, everybody survived, and so therefore you overcame it. So that's a yes. Did you make a significant discovery or revelation? I'm going to argue no, but I will take counter arguments.
We discovered there's squatters on the planet and they're hostile.
I also have
And
proof.
that's a significant complication to our mission now.
No, it
It-
is.
it
That's
is.
actually fair.
And I-
Okay.
Also acquired proof of said presence.
Yes, the fighter jet that
Copy of the
shut you
black
down.
box.
Yep. Okay. No, I'll give you that one. Yeah, that one goes for everybody. So that's additional point.
Also, I wouldn't have been sitting in the middle of metal death trap if I wasn't trying to get that proof. So I risked for it too.
You know what?
So yes, I say I should get the point for the information collecting.
But that's not for your personal agenda though.
No.
Her personal agenda is to get everybody home.
Mhm.
Right.
So we all got the learning information one because the party
Right.
learned that information.
Okay. Okay.
So we're all good on that one.
And then, did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? I'm going to make an argument that Pike certainly did when he rushed and knifed a guy. Pike
So
knifed a guy.
I was going to make the argument that the scout sniper flew a crashing dropship out of a flat spin. Like
That's
that
okay.
too.
Yeah, no, that is definitely, and also keep in mind that you can now. Oh no! Wait,
I took the
you already
plus one
have
to a
you already have
future-related roll.
piloting
I have no ranks in piloting.
because on your next level up or whatever you want to call it, you can add.
I could choose that. Yeah.
Yeah. Henry Menshaw, thank you for the follow that I just noticed came in 8 minutes ago.
Nice.
So yeah, Pike definitely gets a point for the extraordinary action in the I'm not a trained pilot whatsoever, but I managed to keep us alive, except for the flight crew who were already dead. Did you earn any money? The answer to that one is always going to be yes until someone does something to your paychecks. That will wrap up our experience points. So please update your sheets accordingly. And in between now and next session, think about what you want to do with those points. And then our first thing we'll do, once we do intros, is we'll resolve learning and increasing skills and all that stuff.
Okay.
I kind of want to use the napper leave on Warren's panicked soul.
So the nap relief will reduce his stress, but not cancel panic conditions. He needs a command roll to get rid of his panic condition.
I didn't read that completely then.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
or depending on the DM's decision, after a certain amount of time, some of those conditions will cancel out on their own.
Yes, and I think what you can do is first on all your character sheets, reduce your stress by 1, and then I believe the panic on Warren is the only one that has a. Well, somebody had trembles, but that goes away after a turn, right?
Right? I mean, it's 6 rounds for the whole fight, and then you get to decide how long it sticks around.
Okay, I feel like the trembles would have reduced by during at least during the post battle stuff where you guys were assessing the situation and getting ready to move on. I feel like the trembles would have disappeared. The panicked, somebody's gonna need to get him. You know what? Fucking take that panicked out. I feel like somewhere along the way somebody would have at least said, "Hey, get your shit together. Let's go." Maybe a little bit more assertive than what happened to Gannon when he.
I'm pretty
first
sure
landed.
that is probably Watts because he thinks Warren is his buddy.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
On the sheet, all you have to do is right-click on the dot for panicked, and it'll clear his panic condition.
Okay, got it.
And then, as I said, -1 stress. And the argument there is that you guys have started your trek, and so now you're back on mission. So, aside from everything that's happened up to this point, you're now back to where you ought to be at this point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's a certain relief in getting back to what you're familiar with, which for the Marines, trekking through the jungle should not be terribly familiar. So, that's my argument for that. Feedback. Let me see what you guys have as far as feedback and outro statements as well, if you have any. Feedback for tonight and closing thoughts from Rodance. What do you got for us?
I need to find a meme generator.
There's plenty out there. There's plenty out there.
So you can get the war crimes thing?
That's
Yes.
I'm gonna, you give me that meme. I'm gonna make that the cover photo for one of the videos. Whatever the next alien video is, I'm gonna make that the cover photo. Give me that meme. I'll do it. I promise you.
Okay.
And then do yourself a favor too. When you make that meme, do the little copyright Rodance 1 or whatever your actual handle is. What else you got for us, Rodance?
It's gonna be interesting because I finally feel like I'm getting kind of used to what's going on with different roles and how it all interacts together. So
Good. Good.
it's definitely forward progress.
Oh yeah. Well, there's definitely gonna be some forward progress. All right. At some point, it's gonna be a drop and no more progress. But whatever. You got anything else?
No, no, but this is going to be hilarious.
Did you find a meme gen already?
Yes.
All right, Luke. Feedback for tonight. Closed out thoughts. Excuse me. What do you got for us?
Well, I certainly contributed more than last game, which I think you were worried about last time, but
Yeah.
I wasn't totally worried about because of, the element that we were in and all that kind of stuff. I definitely contributed a lot more this time.
Yes.
Having seen combat, it is terrifying. Not because any of us got hit, but because the possibility of getting hit is so devastating.
Oh yeah. But thankfully, you
when,
guys have armor. These guys didn't, so they ate all that damage up front, and we're dropped in a single attack.
When the need for your skills arises, they will be quite necessary. So
Yeah, I'm gonna read the book for the 5th time. I tend to like try to go through it again and then I learn some more and then go from there. But I'm interested to see where this goes.
Well, it's going into the jungle. That's where it's going right now.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, the amount of damage we were doing, like, just imagine whiffing the armor roll, which happens more often than not.
Yeah.
And any of your characters just eating 4 damage.
And the other thing to that too is when you're making those armor rolls, it's only mitigating per success. So you take 4 or 5 points of damage, but you only roll 1 success. That's still 3 or 4 points of damage you're gonna eat.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, especially in the case of someone who only has 2 hit points. That's broken
Yeah.
on the first shot. That's your next hit. You're rolling criticals.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else?
No, I don't want to pander or
No.
self-advertise.
No, it's fine. Go for it, dude. You're running a show or a
well.
stream service. Go for it.
Yeah, doing the thing on the Twitch. No cam or anything like that.
Where can
'Cause my
people
room's an
find you?
absolute
You
mess.
said it earlier, but
So it's at Luke Labs. So twitch.com/Luke Labs. You can send me a follow or something. Me and LaRousse.
yeah,
We stream every probably like second day now.
nice. And if you look at, for those viewing the video or live, you'll notice, of course, we all have our little slides that rotate through. At Luke_Labs, as it's shown on the screen there, we'll find him on twitch.tv. Kane, feedback and closeout thoughts. What do you got for us?
Well, we had some fun with the NCO stuff. We finally put Pike at what he does.
Killing people.
And he
Cold-bloodedly.
stabbed a guy just totally unnecessarily.
Pike knifed the guy. I'm totally stealing that from Anchorman.
Yeah.
And Pike knifed the guy.
Knifed the guy who surrendered, which normally would require you failing an empathy roll, but Pike's that kind of asshole, so.
No, he definitely has the trait that cancels that.
Yeah. He's also got an RPG now, and I'm really excited to shoot this RPG at something. There's gonna be like a single guy firing from a bush. I'll be like, yep, time for an RPG.
He's gonna be like, no, fuck you. Poosh.
The load gets lighter
a-
as I use it.
Just a big old fuck you in particular.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I made the meme already, okay? You can go make a second one.
Is
It's
that what-
Fuck
is that-
You RPG?
Was that you that sent me that last DM that I just got?
No, I
That's-
literally posted it in the chat
Okay.
in the meme section. So
got
you
it.
now have war crimes or
Awesome.
SpongeBob Rainbow.
It'll definitely be the cover video for this one. Anything else, Kane?
As a side note, you might not want to put that as your cover photo on YouTube, but it would make a great ending intro or ending slide.
The end card, yeah.
We've experienced what this system likes to do so far. Profound luck, none of us got hit. And profoundly bad luck, basically everybody who shot a gun ran out of ammo. Like it's We've also noticed that, you can get big dice pools and still roll absolutely fucking nothing. So
You
Yeah.
gotta roll a 6, so I mean, the odds of
It's
that are pretty high.
it's
or
weird.
Low.
It's weird seeing 10 or more dice and no sixes, and especially with the way the animation is on Foundry for Alien, the only number that shows up, and it's not even a number; it's a crosshair. So when you don't roll a six, it could be anything from 2 to 5, uh, or 1 for the black dice. But it's just so weird to see all these blank dice rolling across the table and nothing.
I like it that it's using the proper dice.
Yeah.
If you've
I
ever
do too.
played any of the Fantasy Flight Star Wars,
I have heard about
entire
those dice,
handful
haven't
of
I?
24 different kinds of dice, and I feel like every time I turn around, there's more.
Yeah. That is a
Yeah.
conversation in AP Gaming Reels Discord from time to time of late. And that I don't understand any of those dice because I've never played those particular games.
No,
But
I have, so I do. But yeah, just like how many different kinds of symbols can we invent for our specialized dice just for our game?
yeah,
That's literally
that
what they
only
did.
works for your game, no other game.
See, it's like I have fate dice that are actually dedicated the blank blank plus plus minus minus dice,
Right. Excuse me.
but I could have used a d6.
Yeah. And you could use a regular D6 for this game too. It's just you got to remember 1s and 6s are the numbers you're looking for. Any other one doesn't count.
Mhm.
But all right, last chance. Anybody? 3, 2, 1. Nope. All right, got nothing. All right. Well, that is it for us here tonight, my friends. Thanks for everybody that stopped by. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you have enjoyed the show, please consider liking and subscribing on all those other buttons, and particularly in the Twitch stream live right now before I end it, !Discord will give you the link to our Discord server. And if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description you will find a link for the Discord server. And in either case, please come on down to the Discord and hang out with us. We don't really bite much. We do throw acid for blood alien critters at you from time to time, but you'll be fine. No war crimes here. But that is it for tonight. Join me again tomorrow for Second Star, a 2300 role-playing experience, episode, I think 19 for Season 2. And then on Thursday, I will be streaming my doubleheader for the Greyland Trio's Week 8 NPC matches. The final 2 for the week before I do the wrap-up later this week or next week for my players so we can move into the final week of the year. And with all that, stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a crazy, dark place, so make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. And as for me and mine, we're out of here. See you tomorrow. Have a good one.